A hearty hello from my humble self. I'm glad to be here again with all of you at SpeedDocsAthon 2021. I hope you're having a good time because I know I will. We will together enjoy not one, but 2 weekends of speedruns, of wonderful times, hopefully below estimate. And kicking it off will be visuals with Hollow Knight 106% true ending. That's a mouthful and a half. And it's already got a bit war going to save or kill the nailsmith. Feel free to get all your hard-earned money that you're willing to part with to put forward to that incentive and do some good with those worthwhile bucks at the same time. We are SpeedDocsAthon, benefiting Save the Children, coming in clutch as the charity of choice, and we hope you will have a great weekend, a great week between the weekends, and a great second weekend, but let's focus on this one right now. In the background, you get to enjoy Yorkland and Squidbird's wonderful tunes provided for us very graciously. And this just in, we have overall milestones we want to achieve with the donations, hopefully. And the goal we set are $3,000 for Save the Children. But if you manage to put in an overall amount of $1,000, JR buys CJ a train whistle for SDAT. I don't know if that's an enticement or a threat, but let's go anyway. And if we manage to get $2,000 together, the next Speed Docs video will be released early. I know CJ will love having to buckle down on the editing, or he is the amazing organizer I know him as and already managed to get stuff in order. I will grab myself a one runner, a one commentator, and a one speed game, and I'll be back with you in just a second to have some speed running. With that, we are going to kick off SDAT 2021, powered by NASA Marathon, with our illustrious, wonderful, beautiful, full-bearded visuals.
Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to SpeedDocsAthon 2. Weekend 1. I'm Visuals. I'm going to be running Hollow Knight here with my co-commentator. How did you say it? Rhino Feeder?
What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm Rhino Feeder. I'm going to be helping Viz out with commentary here when there's some parts so he's got to focus or can't really talk. So yeah, I'm looking forward to get into this.
Yeah, so just a quick FAQ that normally happens with this category. This is Hollow Knight. This is a Metroidvania that came out in 2017. It launched with 100%, and then they put out a bunch of DLCs for free, might I add. And this is the second DLC, the Grim Troupe, and the max percentage on this patch is 106%. And this patch is the fastest one for all of the main categories of the game, so any percent, true ending, low percent, etc., etc. And so that's why we play 106% specifically. So that's what I knew that question's going to come up. But yeah, so we have we don't have much to do here. Just got to start the game. So all right, everyone ready for a countdown?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. I cleared my registry, so the game thinks I haven't beat the game, so no Steel Soul. So yeah, right off the bat, this is a Metroidvania, and if you're familiar with the genre, it's a game where you get movement and like weapon upgrades and spell upgrades and stuff like that to advance to more like farther areas into the game. This is the knight who we play as. We do not play as the titular Hollow Knight. That is a boss. This is just the knight, and all we start off with here is the ability to swing our nail and jump and run. And at the top left, you'll see a little soul meter. That's the big circle that's getting filled up every time I hit an enemy. That's basically our mana or like MP or whatever. And that allows us to heal and use spells once we acquire them farther into the game. So if you notice, this is how you get out of this area called King's Pass. But since in this category we have to collect everything, there's actually a charm in King's Pass, so we have to go back in here. But we go through the door first because after we grab the charm, we're going to save and quit, and it's going to put us back outside that door, which is important. Because otherwise we'd have to walk all the way around, and it takes forever. So we're going to grab...
One important... Oh, sorry.
Go. Good.
I was going to say one important thing to note for viewers is that this game is timed with a loadless timer as well. So there might be certain parts of the run where you see Viz doing things that look like they might be slower in real time, like leaving a room and coming back into it. But with a loadless timer as we use for this game, it actually makes things a little bit faster. So keep that in mind if you see Viz doing anything weird.
Yeah. Like there's the quit out whenever you grab Shade Cloak way later in the game. We'll see that about the hour mark. Saves about 10 seconds of loadless, but it's probably slower than regular time. So yeah, the cool thing about quitting in this game is that it saves everything like immediately, as long as sometimes you'll have to see the little like save marker at the bottom right. That's Elderbug. We're not talking to him. Get over it.
YouTube viewers in shambles.
So you'll see at the top left the 15, that is our geo, the game's currency. I'm going to grab more right here. This is actually like basically the max amount you can have at this point, which is really good, because we need 50 by the time we leave this room coming up. Oh, I thought we were going to get hitless. All right, it didn't hit me twice.
Do you want to talk about inventory dropping at all? That's a mechanical skill.
You can go for it.
Yeah, sure. So a lot of times you'll see Viz opening his menu when he's falling long distances. What that does in the game is, for one, it uncaps your maximum fall speed, so we can fall a lot faster in certain places. And two, it stops the hard fall animation that some people might be familiar with when you fall from a far distance in this game. So
I like the term superhero landing.
Superhero landing. I like that. Yeah, 50 geo exactly. Very nice.
Yeah. That geo was actually really rude in that room, so I'm glad that I was able to. I'm lucky that I had 15 off the start, because like there's the rock that we get at the very beginning drops 15, but sometimes some of it can fall in like the spikes. So like the low end of what I've ever gotten is like 9 or 10, which is rough. But we had all 15, so made it a lot more lenient in that room. So the reason we need 50 is to open up this stack station, which we will be using throughout the run. Stack stations are fast travel points. There's 3 main methods of fast travel. If you don't count, if you don't count save and quitting, it's the tram, the dream gate, and the stags. So you saw me put on a charm a second ago, and I was trying to get hit by him, but he has 2 moves he can do, and he did the wrong one. So we're gonna try to. These are not unintentional damage. This is intentional. Oh, I didn't even explain to the audience yet. So for every unintentional damage I'm going to be taking throughout the run, I'm going to be donating $1. And so if you guys want
I
to...
almost made a mark there.
Yeah, if you guys want to help Rhino keep track of the number in chat.
Yeah, so the damage we're taking here is to activate Fury of the Fallen, which is the charm that we saw Viz pick up at the start of the run. What it does, and we'll see this used in a lot of boss fights in this run, is it makes your nail do quite a bit more damage when you have 1 health. So obviously a little bit risky, but when we're going for speed, it's pretty necessary to get top times in this category.
So, we're gonna do Hornet. We're gonna do Hornet on Fury. We're just gonna be really careful. If we die, it's like 2 minutes, but oh well. For Soul Master, I'm gonna do a little bit of a safety strat, and that being, I'm gonna bench beforehand, which wastes a little bit of time because we're not supposed to bench till after, but dying there is pretty rough. So,
Marathon strats.
Marathon strats. We are still going for Hornet 1 health because Mama didn't raise no fool. So so that boss, a lot of people, if you've played the game casually or if you've seen any percent runs, you'll see that you can actually leave that arena before killing him. In this category, we actually need him dead for multiple reasons. We need the geo that he drops, which if that was the only reason, we probably wouldn't do it, but we also need him to be dead so we can fight him again later once we have the Dream Nail. So this is the Snail Shaman. He's going to give us our first spell, the Vengeful Spirit, if I can hit the jump button. And this is a spell. So right now, our nail by default does 5 damage, and the fireball that we just picked up is 15 damage. Later, we're going to get a charm that makes it go up to 20, and then we're going to get an upgrade for it that makes it do even more. So spells in this game are ridiculously strong. Like even right now, before we get anything that buffs it, it's already doing 3 nail damage. So pretty quickly in this game, especially because we're not going to get nail upgrades till way later, and they only go up by 4 each upgrade to a maximum of 21. The spells in this game are super strong, and most people don't use them casually. I did not use them casually. I don't know anybody that really did use them super heavily. Yeah.
How can I heal if I'm not using my
exactly.
spells? Well, the other interesting thing to note, and I forget exactly which category of bosses this is, but I know some bosses, as you upgrade your nail, their health actually scales. So on top of it being really slow to get nail upgrades, it actually makes some bosses have more health.
Yeah. So we just picked up our second charm there. We're going to put it on here with a mechanic called Overcharming. And Overcharming is where you just need 1 open notch, the little little circles below the charms as the notches. And you just kind of force it in there for 5 times, and eventually it's like, okay, fine, but you're gonna take double damage. So we get the benefit of both charms, or all the charms we have on it, but you take double damage, which again, we're on our way to go fight a boss that we're gonna do on 1 health on purpose. So taking damage is actually pretty good here, although it can get out of hand if you're not careful. Ooh, that was convenient. So we're gonna do a trick here that they ended up patching out, called the Balder one-shot, where we're gonna put him off screen, we're gonna shoot 1 fireball, and he's just gonna die. Normally they take 4 fireball hits, as you saw with the other one that I killed. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't miss that in a marathon. Jeez.
I honestly think that that first fireball skip is the hardest of the
easily the hardest. Yeah. Because you like you normally only have soul for 1, right. And it's just a little bit tighter. And it also feels like it should be the easiest, so I think people relax on it, but I don't know. I get in my own head about it all the time.
Absolutely.
Luckily,
yeah, I definitely missed that one the most.
Yeah, luckily missing it only wastes 3 seconds, but it's embarrassing for somebody that's played the game as much as I have. So second fireball skip coming up here. This is where, as you just saw when we're going to do again, you kind of suspend your fall. Oh my god, I thought I didn't make it. I turned around.
that looked very close.
Yeah, it was.
After we just got done talking about how the first one's the hardest.
Yeah. So third one coming up here.
Coming up.
Yeah. Rhino used to run a category that did a lot more of these. Because you don't get the dash in low percent. But, oh, ow. Yeah. Okay. But again, these are all intentional.
Count that as unintentional damage?
No, I have to take damage anyway.
Okay.
Although you can count, we should be at 1 because of the Grozer fall.
Oh, that's true.
Okay. Because yeah, I have to bench after that, so taking damage there isn't good.
I'll make a tally.
Every time you say ouch.
Yeah, whenever you say ouch, that'll be the key. Oh, and you get the double hit too. Nice.
Easy.
Yeah.
Just chime in real quick. Samantre donates $20 saying sweet first spit. I guess that should mean spit.
No. Spit was correct.
Okay.
There's an enemy. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
And $15 from Spicy No Message. But thank you, both of you.
Thank you, guys.
Putting us already at $136.
Wow.
Some
Nice.
early snipers got in.
So
a one.
Go ahead.
A one spit refers to the first balder that we kill in the mound. It has a 50-50 chance on every given spit of either giving you an infection bubble or a mini balder, which you need a mini balder to be able to kill it. So getting a mini balder on the first spit is often referred to as a one spit. So it saves a bit of time and it's very nice. So I believe that's what Samantha was referring to.
That was not smart on my part in a marathon.
Jeez.
Let's go. That was not a good idea. Woo!
We're not here to be safe, we're here for speed.
That was that if she doesn't stagger right there, she definitely just flies into my face and I'm dead. All right.
Yeah, for everyone watching, I'm on like a 1 second delay from Viz. Like I'm on a very, very slight delay. So I saw that right now. I'm like, he's dead. 100% he's dead.
So yeah, now that we have killed Hornet, or defeated Hornet, she's fine. We'll see her later. We get the Mothman Cloak, aka the Dash, which really makes this game start to open up as far as movement options and how you have to like maneuver through these areas. One also cool thing about the Dash is that that was awkward. Is that you can open up the inventory mid-dash to kind of stop it from going, because it has a set distance. You can't like hold it longer to go farther, like Mega Man X or anything. But one of the coolest things about this game is the Pogo. When you down slash and bounce off of something that actually gives you height, it actually refreshes your dash, because you only have one in the air.
Super important.
Oh, almost damageless. We can count that one.
Yeah, we're absolutely counting that.
Yeah. My wallet's gonna hurt every time.
Yeah. And actually, I didn't realize this for a while, like during my whole casual playthrough, but picking up a charm notch actually heals you back to full health. And if you pick up, I don't know if this is patched out, but at least on this patch, if you pick up a charm notch with 1 health and you have Fury, the game will give you full health back, but it will still think that you have Fury activated, so you can have Fury with full health.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient. It used to be actually inconvenient based on a trick that we do called the Mantis Pogo, but now that we do the Double Dash Pogo, it actually is not as bad anymore.
Yeah, it's super nice.
But I don't normally like try to do it because it doesn't end up being that helpful. Once you get hit once, it goes away. So
right,
it's pretty rare to go through this whole area without getting hit.
Yeah, so we're gonna see Explosion Pogo here come up, which is one of the first big skips, and yeah, Viz gets it first try. It's essentially luring that little ball down there, pogoing it, then pogoing its explosion, because on this patch, explosions have hitboxes. And here's gonna be that double dash trick we just saw Viz talk about. Yeah, he gets it perfectly. And that allows us to skip, that saves about, I think, 15 to 20 seconds versus going around
easily
the dev intended way. Yeah, so huge time save there.
Please don't hit me, please don't hit me, thank you.
And yeah, this whole section of the, I mean, most categories do this same path to get Mantis Claw, and it's a very difficult section. You know, going back to back E-Pogo, then Mantis Pogo.
Yeah.
2 very difficult skips, so props to Viz for getting them both first try.
Thank you. Most of the time, those other categories quit and go back to the bench at the mound. Oh, I almost got hit.
You got so.
Yeah, I was touching him.
I was ready to hit the tally.
But this category, we have more stuff to do here, and we needed the Mantis Claw to do it, so we're gonna make our way up here. I really, really hope that we get triple. Hello. Triple explode or elevator wall cling storage. So that would be really, really cool to show off. It's one of my favorite tricks in the run.
Let me just chime in real quick right here.
Yeah.
Spicy added another $2 to their donation. Forgot to leave a comment, lol. I love Hollow Knight, so happy to see this run. Wonderful to even add some money to that for that wonderful donation, for that wonderful message. And Whiskey Ursa is putting some money towards killing the Nailsmith.
Yeah.
$5. Let's go, Viz. Let's go, SpeedDocs. Save the children, but not the Nailsmith.
Whiskey's one of my
I'm in a tough
besties.
spot because I'm pro killing the Nailsmith, but anti losing time, which killing the Nailsmith does. So
Yeah,
you know, it's a little tricky.
It also loses time on White Palace, which means I can't go for Com Gold.
Oh, that's true. Not with that attitude.
Well, you might be in luck because Save the Nailsmith is ahead with $22 to against $5 for killing the Nailsmith.
Nice.
All right.
All right,
Save
we're
the
gonna
frames and the Nailsmith.
and then else, yeah.
Yeah, so you're gonna see Viz heavily using a technique here called elevator wall cling storage, which is essentially you trick the game into thinking that you're clinging onto the wall like you would for wall jumps, but you're actually not on a wall. What it does, you can see, is it allows the game to think, almost got the trick.
Almost.
But yeah, if you carry that all the way to that platform Viz just climbed up on, you can actually skip pogoing the enemy, and it saves a little bit of time. And of course, it's really swag.
It looks super cool.
Yeah, but even just getting the double chain there still saves time because while the game thinks you're still on the wall, it also maintains all of your momentum from your dashing. So
Yeah, so you're moving it like
still
flying.
yeah, so even if you don't get it, it's always worth at least trying it.
Yep. All right, so we are going to enter the Soul Sanctum, but then we are going to immediately lose time because I'm going to go bench. Just in case, I do want to show off Fury Soulmaster, and it's really volatile. So like dying here is like so possible.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can use that wall cling storage on a lot of different applications. For example, whenever like a gate goes away, like it just did. But recently we just found out like using it all over the run with like elevators and vertical transitions and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's some pretty crazy stuff you can do with wall cling storage, a lot of which we ban and no major glitches because it would drastically change the run,
Yeah.
but they are things we know about.
Oh, I'm done. I'm not used to doing this. I should have went out the room and came back, but oh well.
Yeah, I was getting ready to talk about how that's an example of using the load list.
Well, no, you won't see it later because yeah, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Oh well. Yeah, base and bench is the only place I can think of, and then in Queen's Gardens, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where we would leave the room and come back so that these benches or gates or stuff like that would like disappear faster. Hello.
Oh, that's a hit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so for anybody watching too, those enemies floating around teleporting are called Soul Twisters, and they're a huge pain for anybody that speedruns any category that goes through Soul Sanctum here. Especially because on this patch, the Soul Twisters can literally just teleport right on top of you. There's nothing you can do without dodging them, so it's incredibly frustrating. It looks like Viz gets through pretty safely. They stop following you at this point. Taking one hit through there is completely
Absolutely
acceptable. Yeah.
Especially because we're gonna go down to one hit on purpose here anyway. So like, getting hit in there it's unintentional. But I mean, if I would have had like 5 health, I would have got hit in that room on purpose just because we're gonna do this.
Yeah. Yeah. And now while the Soul Master's spawning in, you can take damage on these spikes to proc Fury, which doesn't waste any time because you'd just be standing here waiting anyway. So I'm gonna be quiet and let Viz focus on this fight here.
All right.
Really good first phase here.
So we think the fight's over. A little bit of a fake out.
Yeah. This made me very upset in my casual playthrough. Because it was such a hard boss.
Ooh, perfect.
Yeah, nice pattern.
Love to see it.
Well done. If this was a live marathon, I would totally expect applause right now for that.
I tried to get up in the spot, couldn't get it.
You'll just have to deal with our virtual applause. Yeah, so that was a really good segment.
Yeah. This next room is definitely going to cost me some money. Never going to get through here without taking damage, so we'll see. And we're going to go...
ability we just... Oh, sorry.
Go.
I was going to say the ability we just picked up is called Desolate Dive, which you'll see us use. The game forces you to use it pretty much immediately here. Not only is it good for boss fights and doing damage to enemies, but it allows us to break breakable floors and progress into new areas throughout the game. So overall, very, very important spell.
So we're also going to go for a trick here called Fake Dive, where the point of the dive is to go through the floor. Ooh! But what we want to do is break that floor while hitting the side of it. It's actually really RNG, more so than it looks. You can't just get it on the same spot every time. Somebody just won't give it to you. But
if TK is watching, he's in shambles at you saying that.
Placebo trick, by the way.
Yeah, it's a
so basically, if you don't get it right there, and sometimes, like I said, you could do it like 5 times in a row, and the game's just like, nah, dog, it's not happening. Okay, we're fine. No. Oh, yeah, one of them was, yeah.
That's absolutely it.
Sorry, no, I meant the second one. I was excited about him missing. But
4 hits, I think, total.
If you miss that grub, you can get it later. But it loses about 9 seconds. Because we're gonna come back to this area to fight this boss. So a lot of bosses in the game, including the first one we fought, this one and a couple other ones, have these secondary versions called Dream Warriors, Dream Bosses. And Dream Bosses are harder versions of those bosses that they think that they're this strong in their dreams. So basically you're going into their dreams. It's like a recurring thing in the game. And they give a reward called Essence, and you need a ton of Essence in this run. You need 2,400 for something that's a percentage at the very end. Whoa, don't you do that.
So I'm not sure how much chat is counting along, but I have 5 unintentional hits at this point.
That's fair. Whew, all right, so now we're gonna go to probably the worst spot to die in the entire run. If you don't count that, well, maybe Hornet 1, but this one's really bad as well, because we cannot bench for this entire section because we're gonna go a really long time before we save and quit back to that bench that we sat at and changed charms. And there's a lot of areas where you can take hits here. So we're gonna do our best to try to keep our health up.
One interesting thing to note, just because you just did it, a lot of people will notice that whenever Viz activates a toll, he looks down really quickly. For reasons that I fully understand but don't have time to explain.
Oh, I understand it too, but you let them know.
Yeah, essentially, by looking down immediately after activating a toll, it makes the bell come up a ton faster. So that's why we do that. I also count that as 2 extra hits. As 2 additional hits.
I guess
I'm not gonna. That's okay. 1. No, that's 1. we said hits, not damage taken.
That's true. I messed up how we were supposed to do that room, but it's fine.
Yeah.
That's actually like, like I said, taking damage in this section is really bad. So taking 2 right there is so atrocious. If I wasn't in a marathon, I would be like so upset that I had to stand on that elevator and heal twice, which probably wasted a couple seconds.
Yeah, because normally we would just do wall jumps up, which is a ton faster.
All right, so we're gonna go for a trick called Pogax, where we're gonna pogo off this little pickaxe that this miner throws. Yeah. I kept it quiet so that you could, so I wouldn't give it up to you.
I know.
I wanted Rhino to be in suspense.
It's a trick that saves about 2 seconds, I think, overall.
Yeah, I think it saves 2 if you get bad RNG on the going back.
Yeah, and if you miss it, it wastes about 6 seconds. But it's a very, as scary as it looks, it's a very, oh, nice God Pixel.
Whoops.
As scary as it looks, it is an incredibly consistent trick for the most part, so most top runners feel it worth their time to go for it.
I wanted to reset that room because I messed up my jump.
I saw. Yeah, a lot of the rooms in Crystal Peaks here are incredibly cycle-based, so especially with the benefit of a loadless timer, a lot of times if you get super off cycle early on, it's really better to just go reload the room and start over.
Yep. I wanted to make that exact cycle that I ended up getting, so we have 4 health, which is really good. Normally, in this coming up room, you would take an intentional damage tank to get yourself on a cycle that would be 1 second faster, but because we're in a marathon, I'm going to try to keep my health as high as possible, so we'll do the damageless strat. Like I said,
Yeah.
loses 1 second, but who cares?
Definitely worth keeping the health here. Yeah, a lot of Viz's movements here are very deliberate and intentional. You know, taking the conveyor belts up, which is a little slower. Every dash and every jump here is a very planned, intentional way of moving through this room. So we can essentially go right through the lasers without stopping at all. And really well executed cycle there.
Really excellent movement until I try to jump up on a tiny little ledge.
Jumping is a major glitch.
So this is an ability called the Crystal Dash or the Super Dash or the C Dash. We'll refer to it interchangeably. This allows you to charge from the ground or from a wall and fly in a horizontal direction until you stop it or you get hit by a wall or an enemy. And normally it can go, if an enemy is going to die to 1 hit, you can actually fly straight through them and it'll just like kill them on your way. There's a bit of a glitch or like bug or something, we don't really know what it is, but sometimes it just stops you and you take damage for no reason, and we're like, hey, that guy was supposed to die, and the game's like, yeah, I don't care.
Come on, going back.
No, I got bad RNG on both. I stopped it in time, but
Yeah.
it would have been better if he was over to the right. All right, so there is a item in this game called the Lantern, and it lights up really dark rooms, and we're gonna get that later, but for now we have to go through this dark room without being able to see, and luckily I'm pretty practiced in it. I say as I die. Not sure. There we go.
There you go. Well done. Yeah. Yeah. There are definitely there are safer ways of moving through that room that are a lot slower but very consistent. So
Yeah.
definitely still very accessible for new runners that might be hesitant to run a category with dark rooms. Most of them have very consistent safe strats if you choose.
Yeah, I'm actually the current world record holder in this category, and there's a faster way of doing the other dark room for Joni's Blessing that I don't even do because I just don't. I'm just a scared baby, and I don't like it.
No, definitely. And in a game like Hollow Knight, where there's so much RNG between enemy spawns and other things, even a lot of very, very top runners will choose strats that might lose a little bit of time just to guarantee a good, consistent movement.
Quote, I do love the game, but I also run the game, so I'm contractually obligated to hate the game.
Yeah, so what we just picked up there is the upgraded form of Desolate Dive called Descending Dark. It doesn't change anything about our movement or progression through the game, but it does a ton more damage, and we use it a lot in boss fights. It gives you a ton of iframes as well. So
yeah, it's ridiculously useful. To the point where most people are just like, most casual players, including myself, were like, so wait, I was able to go through the floor, now I can go through the floor more, better, faster. What is the point of this spell? I don't, because like most people don't internalize that all 3 spells are supposed to be used for damage, and it does a lot of damage. It does 88 if all 3 parts of it connect, whereas your upgraded fireball does 40. The upgraded upward spell does more, but it's really hard to get, and it's like far into the game, so like for the most part most people wouldn't have it for a while. Right now we are acquiring, sorry to cut you off, an item called the Dream Nail, or as I like to call it, the Lore Sword. This is the most important item in the entire game as far as beating the game, because you literally can't get to any ending without it. It unlocks so many things, but the main ones being the Dreamers, and beating all 3 Dreamers is what unlocks the final area of the game. So without this item, like, even in like low percent or like the lowest possible percent you could think of, you have to have this item. It's
like all glitches, I think, even needs it, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can also use it in combat, not to do damage, but if you hit an enemy with Dream Nail, it gives you soul, which is we'll see used quite a bit later.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I missed any unintentional hits, by the way, so I'm a terrible co-host.
When did I take a second damage? Oh, the Glimback. I don't know if you counted that.
I did not count that.
Okay.
But
That's the only one.
went into C peaks with full health. Now, then you took. Where'd you take 2 damage? So
I took one on purpose. I fell into the into the spikes on purpose. Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes
So yeah, it's the one. Yeah. So we are going to stag back to the Forgotten Crossroads. I picked up a charm a second ago called the Dream Shield. It sucks.
We just need it for completion.
Yeah, we have to have all the charms. But there is actually, if you're watching this, especially if you're watching it on YouTube like months later, you might be noticing that I don't do this route this exact way. There's a pretty big change where they do this whole area kind of backwards, because they go through the crypts at this point, but I only found out about it like a week ago, and I was not about to change my entire route a week before Marathon. So if you're wondering why this area looks weird, that's why.
Yeah, I didn't even. I mean, I heard that there was a new route, but I didn't know where it changed.
It doesn't fight.
See how quick D-Dart kills Gruzmother there for anybody watching.
Yeah, the other route doesn't fight Gruzmother at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they fight her in the Coliseum.
Gotcha.
It's so nice not having to fireball those.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If any casual players are out there struggling with like Pantheon 5 or something, use D-Dark all the time.
Yep.
Just spam it over and over.
So right there, we just bought the best charm in the game, called Shaman Stone, and then we bought a charm notch, which allows us to put on more charms. And we're gonna talk to Sly to rescue him real quick, because he has a shop up in the main town of Dirtmouth that allows us to buy stuff, which we're about to go to right now. Oh, we don't buy those.
You mentioned it earlier, Viz, but just a reminder for people. Oh, that's a hit.
No, wait, that one's a no. Yeah, you're right.
The Shaman Stone charm that we just picked up. It's every speedrunner's favorite charm, probably. It makes all of your. It's not that expensive in terms of charm notches, and it makes all your spells do a ton more damage. So very, very useful.
That shop is also like easy to get to off the start of the game. You can even get there with no upgrades if you want to pogo off your shade, which you should never see the shade in this run, but yeah, it's only 220 geo. It makes all your spells hitboxes bigger and makes them do more damage. And like I said, since spells are so strong, it's obviously a huge thing. The main thing about the game is pretty quickly, like I'd say even now, the nail has been relegated to a soul collection tool rather than damage dealer. Like the 5 damage for every hit is, you know, it adds up eventually, but like when I'm shooting off a 40 damage fireball and like, whoops, and it double hits to do 80. No, go ahead.
So while Viz is focusing on this fight here, yeah. So what we saw him buy the key in Dirtmouth from Sly, which allowed us to get into this boss fight. And this boss fight is guard, and it's a very quick kill. And you're gonna see Viz here actually do what's called the folly skip, where by luring this folly up, we can actually have it knock us out of the animation when we collect this spell, and that allows us to save and quit out a little bit earlier.
We don't save and quit.
Oh, and we don't save and quit in this category. That's right. I've been watching too much True Ending lately.
But leave the room fast, yeah.
Yeah, it lets us leave the room a ton quicker. Getting hit while you're in an animation gives you control of the night back. The only thing, if you need to be careful, and I've seen Viz do this, if you leave that room too quickly, the game will not recognize that you picked up the spell, and you'll have to go all the way back for it. So, yeah, really well executed skip there. Saves a whole bunch of time.
All right, you're rude.
Yeah, and now with our newly picked up abilities, that's another hit. With our newly picked up spells, we're gonna go fight the Soul Tyrant, which, as Viz mentioned earlier, is the dream boss form of the Soul Master who we fought. So from a lore perspective, this is us going into the boss's dreams and fighting it how it sees itself in its most powerful form. So usually bosses in this form are a bit tougher, they move a bit quicker, they might have different attacks as well.
This also might be the boss with like the highest, what's the word?
Run killing.
Well, that, but like difference in time between a fast kill and a slow kill.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much RNG in
Delta.
this boss fight between the delta. Yeah, between where, no, you're fine. Between where the boss can teleport and what attacks it gives. One thing we are looking for though is if you hit the boss while he's moving away from you, sometimes he'll move right along with the hitbox of your fireball that you're shooting, and it'll count as 2 hits, which you just saw right there. And that's really something Viz is looking for and trying to set up in this fight to do the most damage possible. That's a decent first phase, I think.
Oh,
You might think differently.
it was like 6 seconds though, but we're fine. I will take that. Not to make it sound like 6 seconds is game breaking.
Oh yeah.
We got ourselves a wonderful little raid. Thank you for that. Just chiming in real quick to remind everybody, SpeedDocsAthon benefits Save the Children. We appreciate all your donations. Enjoy the run. You're doing great. Liz.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone for donating. I appreciate it. I know it's not like, it just makes, it always makes the runner feel good if they don't have like the whole run go by and like barely even donated. It's like, but yeah, so
Yeah.
we got the essence from him. Like I said, we're gonna need 2,400 throughout the run. The dream bosses give a good chunk. Dream warriors give like 100 to 200 most of the time. But yeah.
Yeah, and if we hadn't gotten that fake dive earlier that Viz had talked about, right after that boss fight is when we would have had to go back and collect it, wasting a bunch of time. For anybody who was curious.
Alright. I just realized I'm gonna take damage in this. I underestimated how many unintentional hits I take because my brain was thinking like, oh hey, like those hits don't matter because you're gonna bench right after that anyway. But then I'm now realizing all those still count.
So you guys can donate to the Help Viz Pay His Rent Fund after he takes all these unintentional hits.
Yeah, that might be a thing. We'll be alright. Alright, so we're gonna make our way down into the most disgusting area in the game, called the Royal Waterways. Why did I inventory drop there? That was a mistake.
Yeah, we're gonna be picking up Fluke Nest here, right?
So,
We sure are.
if you guys liked lengthy boss fights and like movement and like all this other stuff, that was the end of the run. So
No more of that.
no more of that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be picking up this charm that I actually, first off, it's still disgusting even though I have to use it, but as a casual player I couldn't do anything about that. I could maybe do something about that. We're gonna take that damage, it's fine. Get away from me. That was really rude. No, but so this charm is so ridiculously busted that it actually went through 5 changes. I'm bad at the video game. Oh no. We're fine.
Oh no. Oh,
It's fine. I just don't want to take damage to you. Please get away from me. Jeez.
I'm
Okay.
panicking watching this.
I
man.
know. All right, so we picked up
this
Fluke
charm,
Nest.
it's stupid powerful. On top of the fact that it does a ton of damage on most bosses, maybe all, but I think on at least most, it doesn't count as like a staggering hit. So there's a lot of times where you'll see Viz stagger a boss, and you can just get right on top of it and spam this Fluke Nest charm, and it doesn't wake up the boss, allowing us to unleash a ton of damage at once.
Yeah, so just for context, Nail, 5 damage. Our Fireball with Shaman Stone, 40 damage. Our Dive, oh, that's really unfortunate. Okay, I didn't mean to slip off the wall right there. Where is this enemy?
There you go.
Jeez, we have to be at full health, full soul here.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
Quite properly.
so, yeah, 40 damage. The Dive does 88 damage. This charm does 112. And it absolutely shreds through bosses. Like you're gonna see with this guy. This is also an intentional hit.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Yeah, so that's what we call a scream skip, which is at the start of most boss fights, they do a scream, which is kind of a game mechanic to introduce the boss. But if you take damage during the scream, which you just saw Viz do, we get control back and we can start hitting the boss right away. Yeah, you can see that this bot. I don't know a better way to say it, but Fluke Nest essentially turns half the bosses in this game into cutscenes.
Yeah. The cutscenes that
powerful.
you can mess up and lose time, but yeah, if you do them correctly, they become formalities and like scripted sections. All right, I'm ready to lose $5. Here we go.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm scared.
No matter how many dollars you lose, Anonymous donated $20 to save them kids, but now Kill the Nailsmith is ahead by $3 with $25. So
Oh,
There we go.
save them kids, kill the Nailsmith.
The real question is,
get on.
how Viz, assuming we have to kill the Nailsmith here, how are you going to go about killing the Nailsmith? There's so many ways to do it.
that's a good question.
Yeah.
A part of me wants to put on Sports Room. Oh no, I heard that doesn't kill him. That's sad.
Oh, gee.
Okay, so here's a little backstory. So the Nailsmith is a character that upgrades your nail, as the name might imply. This is also intentional damage. Don't you dare.
I know.
And once he completes your nail, he upgrades it to 21 damage, called the Pure Nail. He's like, oh my goodness, this is the most amazing piece of tech I've ever created. I'll never top this. This is my life's work. All I ask is that you hit me with it to let me feel the effects of my like perfection nail, right? And so a lot of players, you know, you have to get an achievement for sparing him and for killing him, so you have to do 2 playthroughs. But when killing him, you might be thinking like, oh hey, at least he like asked me to, he wants to, you know, he goes outside, he's like, oh kill me, blah blah blah. But if you don't, then he ends up going to find another character, and they end up having a cool little happy relationship as painters, and they find new joy in life, which is really cool. But if you want to be really evil, you can kill him without letting him feel his perfect nail, which is really mean, but also kind of funny.
Yep. You can kill him with a spell. It's considered a fairly rude move. But
Yeah, it's pretty BM, if we're being honest.
yeah, here's one of those instances where I talked about earlier. We're going to see Viz activate the toll, leave the room, and come back. Because with the when you leave the room and come back, it skips all the animation of the bench spawning in. And especially with a loadless timer, it just saves a lot of time to do little things like that.
All right, so do we count the one guaranteed Moloch hit as accidental?
No, that's intent. You know you're
Okay.
taking that, and that's intentional.
I was gonna say I should have learned the damageless one.
You can just de-dark it
Oh, nah,
if
whatever.
you really want.
So we're gonna take that hit on purpose. Now every other hit is accidental. Thank God that one didn't hit me. That's the worst case scenario. If any of these other ones, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah, so the way Viz is moving through this room is a very intentional and deliberate set of motions, because as RNG as it looks, there are very consistent strats to get through that room with only 1 hit or 0. It's actually faster to take that 1 hit that we saw Viz take intentionally, but a lot of runners choose to rather have the health.
And yeah, the timer for marathons is obviously RTA. Like I have my life split up, but like I'm not gonna PB in this run. Don't worry.
I was gonna ask you about that actually.
No.
Yeah, so
I'm a minute
this
behind.
boss here doesn't actually start until all those little light seeds on the ground either enter him or are destroyed, which is why you see Viz killing him as quickly as he can.
Ow. All right, whatever. Count it.
I'm counting I know which ones are unintentional.
A lot of my flukes from the third one shot. So the flukeness, the way it works, I know you're seeing me like shoot it like on top of enemies, so you don't actually get to see it. It shoots 16 of those little disgusting pink, what they're called, flukes, and each one does 16 damage, and I think there's 16 of them. Does that add up to 112? No, it doesn't sound right. Whatever 112 is divided by 16, that's how much each does. I'm not sure the number.
Yeah, so now we go back and fight the dream form of that boss, known as the Lost Kin.
7? Okay. So they each do 7. Because I know it shoots 16 of them.
I gotta be honest, I don't remember. Broken Vessel is the undream form. I couldn't remember the name, and I felt really terrible. Yeah.
All right, Lost Kin.
So some runners, half joking, half non-joking, actually consider this boss a little easier because like it moves a lot faster. So you might think, oh, so it's got to be harder, but it's kind of like getting pitched a slow ball in baseball with the other boss. Like you expect.
Yeah, Broken Vessel's a change-up.
It's not. Yeah, it's a change-up for sure. So, yeah. But yeah, you'll see Viz mostly using his nail to stagger the boss, and as I said earlier, using Fluke Nest on staggered bosses doesn't wake them up. So once you stagger, you can go stand right on top of them. And yeah, that was a quick fight. Really well done.
Thank you. I was getting excited. I was like, because if he would have done any of the other two moves on the very end, I actually would have been like gold fight maybe.
Right.
Because he like I just needed one more fluke to hit, but unfortunately he did like a straight across dash and all of them went over him and he missed. So had to chase him down and get another fluke off. Oh well.
How many hits did you take in that fight? I did not.
One. Ow. Okay. Well, now two.
I was so interested in the fight.
Ah! We're fine.
Jesus.
I didn't mean to dash there.
I saw how close you got, yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say add another $1. All right. So now we're going to go fight what I believe is one of the hardest bosses in the game, personally. But I guess it depends on your playstyle. So if you're one of the people that, like me, I didn't want to be the, run away and heal guy over and over. So I was like, oh, if I lose health, I didn't use spells a lot, but I was like, oh, I'm just going to DPS race this guy and we'll see who wins. And that's how I handled a lot of bosses. So as you might imagine, the double damage dealers were definitely my downfall, which is why I struggled so hard with like Crystal Guardian 2 and Failed Champ and NKG. God, I'm so scared I'm gonna die to Crystal Guardian, I already know. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
All right, so we have to remember to bench here. We're gonna come get the another charm called the Glowing Womb.
Either.
Yeah, Glowing Womb. Yeah.
It doesn't have much use. Yeah.
He did not
charms we pick
break
up.
No, I was just saying he didn't break the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of charms we get in this run, mostly just because they do count as a %. So even though they're fairly useless in this run, we still do need them for the categories rules. Yeah, and if any of you might have noticed that Viz took off the Fluke Nest charm, and the reason for that, even though it does so much damage, is that this next boss is actually on a hit counter of like actual hits, not necessarily damage for certain phases of it. And the game does not recognize flukes as hits, as we talked about, so you actually can't use it to progress the boss fight. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was seeing if I could get through that area without getting hit, which is actually really rare. As much as I want to save the children, I also want to pay rent.
Yeah, that's right.
Get out of my way. Oh, I knew it. All right, fine. Rude. I tried to avoid that, but the game is just like, no, you're taking this hit.
Well, I've never seen that weird SDAT, the wall push you down. Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, you go like really slow. It's really funny.
That's funny, yeah. So I always thought this part's kind of messed up because like you kill this boss in like the beginning of the game, and then you essentially break into his funeral service where his family is mourning him, and then murder him in his dreams, like while his family watches.
Pretty much.
Like, I had that realization when I did my casual playthrough. I'm like, my God, we are monsters. Yeah, really good. So if you're experienced in this fight, once you get the first stagger, the rest of this fight is essentially very scripted. So we'll see if this can pull it off.
That was interesting.
Commentator curse for sure. Yeah, so essentially if you shoot fireballs at the right time, you can get triple hits on the failed champ, which just immediately staggers him if you get all of them. But, you know, we're all human. You'll get it this time, I believe.
Yeah, the other one, he was in the middle of the room when I started, so I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work. So.
Yeah, essentially the failed champ's hammer counts as a hitbox that you can damage him with. So by shooting a fireball at the right time, you hit the hammer on one side, his actual body, and then the hammer on the other side.
All right.
Look at his family run away in horror. What he just did.
Sorry, bud.
You're a monster. Sorry, but we need the essence.
Yeah, sorry. All we did, we just gave him a little ego death, you know?
That's right, yeah.
I still don't understand how he controls the armor. I don't know if anybody does.
No.
He is a tiny bug. Alright, so we're gonna go pick up our second of 3 methods of fast travel. This one is really underutilized by casual players, including myself. Don't think I'm just talking mess about casual players. I was a terrible player when I started.
Oh, same.
But this, like, no one seems to use this or like really think to know when to use it, because it kind of serves the same purpose as like saving quitting to a bench, just you don't need the bench, which is like obviously really big, but like it's just really hard to remember, like, hey, I'm about to go into like a new area, maybe I should place this little teleporter here so I know to come back to it. It's hard to remember, but
or in case you get lost too.
yeah.
You know, as speedrunners, most of, you know, we have the whole route memorized and stuff, but in the casual playthrough, I think I pretty much was staring at my map constantly.
Oh yeah, this map is so big, so big,
massive. Yeah, the game world is astonishingly large.
Yeah. All right, so got Dreamgate. Bye, Seer. You didn't get to see her earlier because I did a trick called the Seer skip, where you slide out of the room while we're in a white screen.
Yeah.
All right, so now, if you remember the beginning of the run, we started a place called King's Pass. We were going to go back there, but once you have the wall jump, you can actually get to a place before the cliff, or before the King's Pass, called Howling Cliffs. And if you watch the cutscene in the beginning, you'll see like the spot where you jump down the little hole. That's where we're actually like going to.
Yeah, in my casual playthrough, I actually came through Howling Cliffs another way. I forget how. But then when I fell back down to King's Pass, I had this oh my god moment, like, oh, that's where we started.
So yeah, this is Howling Cliffs. We're gonna accomplish a few things here. This is actually like for example, like in Rando, this actually isn't a big like item check spot. Unless you have like literally everything on, then obviously every area is with like geo rocks and stuff like that. But you do get your first of the 3 nail arts here. This is, oh my goodness, I think it's Oro. It's either Oro or Monto.
I don't remember.
I know. They're twins, and one gives this one gives dash slash. I don't remember. I just remember Shio is great slash. But this one allows you, so I know some people compare it to Metroid. I've never played Metroid. I know I'm a Metroidvania runner.
By the way.
Okay, cool. Wait, I golded that? Oh,
Gold
did I bench in?
America?
Wait, did I bench in Dirt Myth?
I think you did. I thought you did.
If I did, then that's a gold. If not, then it's not.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, I just have to stag back to Dirt Myth and I'm gonna lose some time, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So where we're going now, the stag nest. Normally, you can't go here until you unlock all the stags in Hollow Nest, and then the stag offers to take you here, which is the birthplace of the stags, and you get this vessel shard. But by pogoing on that ventilage you saw Viz do, we can kind of skip up to here without getting all the stags, which is great because I don't believe stags are a %.
No. Yeah, we missed out on
so
2 of them.
All. Yeah.
2 or 3.
Again,
I know we missed.
Notice,
we miss Green Path.
Right.
I'm mad.
Oh, you forgot the dream now.
I don't even think I pressed it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, as Viz mentioned earlier, by anytime you pogo something, it refreshes all of your movement, your dash, your wings, etc.
Yeah, touching the ground wall or pogoing will refresh both, so you can like double jump, dash, pogo, double jump, dash, pogo, double jump, dash, pogo. Oh, that's not the button I wanted. Hello, Viz, you good there, bud?
Oh boy.
I don't know. Talking and playing is hard.
This is the dark room Viz was talking about earlier, where he doesn't necessarily do the optimal strats through here, but again, in a category that is about 3 hours long, we definitely value some sense of consistency.
Okay, you know what?
I think I counted 2 unintentional hits in there.
Yeah. I don't want to die to Boulder Shell.
I'm just waiting for like 6 months from now, someone on the YouTube constantly be like, well, actually, you counted this many hits, and I watched the whole 3-hour video, and it was this many hits. Like, someone's gonna crucify me for that.
Keep in mind, he might not have counted some that he knew were intentional, because there are a lot of intentional damage in this.
Yeah.
All right, so this was a thing added in the Grim Troupe patch, which is the one that we're playing on. This is the Nightmare Lantern. Hold on. Nice.
Is he gonna get the wiggle? You got the wiggles? Nice.
I got the wiggles. So that lantern, normally when you hit it a certain amount of times in a short enough time span, because it kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. You're like fighting a bar that's like going down. But if you hit it normally, then you get stuck in a little cutscene where it activates for like 10 seconds. It's really long. But right there, we hit it with the very edge of a Cyclone Slash, like getting closer and farther away from it, so that like we hit it with the edge over and over. Ow, that was rude.
That 2 hits you just took there?
Just one.
Okay.
But yeah, so like it allows you to like have control of your character. For some reason, like doing a Cyclone Slash like that doesn't put you in like the little freeze animation. Also 422.
Blaze it.
But yeah, I was comparing the Cyclone Slash to before I got the gold split, and I totally forgot. I was comparing it to like charge attacks from Metroid. Whoa. C dash, please. I feel so bad for that Moss Knight.
He doesn't even get a chance, yeah.
Nope. He
Poor
just
guy.
got born and just out. Alright, so there's a chance that whenever I quit after Shape of Moon, I'm going to be at the wrong stag station, but it'll just waste some time. It's not like a run, or it's a run ending if I was going for like record, but it might not be run ending. It would just be a lot of time loss. Nope.
This guy's a terrible guardian.
He really is.
Yep.
He's also deaf, apparently.
Yeah.
You make like a lot of
He
noise
doesn't-
behind him, and he's just like the ocean, the acid ocean.
That's funny.
Oh wait, we have enough soul to do this. I still don't know if that's faster.
Looks faster to me. Count it.
All right, let's find out if that gold was real, or if I have to delete it after the run.
At the edge of my seat here.
That looks like Derpmuff, maybe. No.
Got the crossroads to me. I was gonna say.
I think it's the same. I think it's the same picture though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't lose a whole ton. I mean, that's annoying, but it's
Yeah.
not. You know, it's not the end of the world.
All right, so that gold's fake. Big sad. So yeah, we're gonna quit. I'm gonna bench there just because you're supposed to, and this is what you're supposed to do: is come over here and get. All right, so activating that Nightmare Lantern puts the Grim Troupe in this town, and this is the Grim Troupe led by Grim himself, one of the coolest characters in the game, if not the coolest character. Big vampire bat, obviously inspired by Dracula, but he's gonna give you a little bit of a fetch quest. So like, some people don't like the fetch quests, and it's, you know, if you are just doing the fetch quest by itself, it's kind of boring, but if you do it while doing other stuff in the world, it's actually not that bad. But he gives you this charm, and this charm gives you a little baby Grim child, a little mini version of him, and you have to go throughout the world killing these Grimkin that spawn on these little red torches and get flames. And once you get I forgot what charm I was supposed to take off for a second. Once you get 3 flames, you come back to him, you get another 3 flames, you come back to him, etc., etc. So that's going to be a big part of this, because he gives, like, we have to fight him at the end after you get 9 flames total. And so that's going to be a big part of, like, when we take off charms to put on Grimchild, so we can collect flames like this one right here. That's fine.
That's acceptable.
We best case scenario is always we shoot a fireball and that Grimkin and it pushes him backwards and double hits and he just dies. Worst case scenario is you hit him once with a fireball and then he just disappears and goes to do another attack, which takes like forever. So got kind of middle ground there where we hit him once but he didn't move, so we could just shoot another one. Oh, don't you fall on my head, please. Woo! Saving money.
Jeez. Like the Matrix.
All right, so we're gonna go get the second nail art, and the cool part about this one is, like I said, so this nailsmith or nail master that you're gonna find is named Shio, and Shio has kind of given up the ways of the nail. Like, he still teaches you kind of reluctantly. He's like, I'm not really into that life anymore. I'm a painter now. But he's like, if you really want to see, or if you really want to, like, you know, learn what I have to teach you, then I'll teach you. And this is the, like, if you spare the nailsmith, this is where he'll end up after the game. Maybe we'll have time to come see him after the run. Whoa, what am I doing? Thank God those were not spikes.
Yeah.
I was not paying attention.
I watched that. I'm like, what are you doing there, buddy?
I was thinking about how long it would take to come see Shio.
Yeah, so this room is very cycle based. There's a fairly consistent way of moving through it, and Viz is hitting all the cycles very well. I'm curious to see if you go for the super dangerous spike jump at the start of the next room. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, so even though that wall looks like it's all thorns, there's a little spot below it where the thorns don't have a hitbox yet that you can jump off, and it probably saves like 0.3, 0.4, but
I think it's more than that. I think doing it without a dash saves like 0.3 over doing it with the dash. But then doing it at all saves like 0.8 or 7 or something with the versus going to the left.
Without the dash, right? Without the dash, yeah.
Oh. I thought it was more than that. I could be wrong. I'm not a timer aficionado. All right. So we're going to make a little pit stop here. This is really easy to forget. Those relics are something that we're going to sell to Lim. And they're not a percentage, so, and like you don't really get like anything new to notice that you missed, you know, if you missed one. Kind of just have to remember.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in this game we need Geo to buy, and from a speedrunner perspective, selling relics, Slem, finding chests, etc. is just infinitely faster than farming enemies for Geo.
Yeah. Alright, so second Nightmare Lantern here. We're gonna see if we can... Nope, that's worst case scenario. But at least he spawned... If he spawns like above me, then like, if you try to dash immediately, he'll kind of match your movement. So you have to like wait a second until he's locked in place and then you can jump. But right there, lucky he spawned like on the same level, so I could just turn around and immediately fireball.
Speaking of casual players, myself included, not using spells, man, I remember I killed all those things with my nail in my casual.
Oh, it takes so long.
Took forever, yeah.
Because you have to hit it
harder as well.
With nail 1, I'm like, you know, not everybody's gonna have nail 1, but just for reference, those are the weakest and like lowest HP ones, and that would take a minimum of 9 hits with the nail, and every time you hit it, he teleports away. So
that's pretty rough.
Yep. All right, so now for this has got to be top 3. Okay, excluding runs that die before Soul Sanctum. Or I guess before Soul Sanctum 2. This is probably top 3 in run killing spots. Even though it shouldn't be, because you're going to set a Dream Gate, and then if you die, you can just Dream Gate back and it wastes like 30 seconds. But I don't like dying in runs and continuing. So, this is probably... Yeah, Crystal Guardian 1 and 2 is probably the spot where I die the most. This boss is really obnoxious sometimes. So you can just put lasers like underneath your feet, and you need like really good reactions to get out of them. Sometimes it feels like you can't. We're also going to do the cool deep focus room, which I'm excited to show off.
Oh, yeah.
I've been getting it a lot lately, so hopefully I don't mess it up. At least let me get it to where I, like, the slightly slower version where I don't land on top of the platform. I want to get the first, like, 2/3 of it, because that's the cool part. Ooh, there's a double hit.
Nice.
Alrighty. So we're going to Cyclone/U. Got an essence.
Nice.
Does anybody, do you know the percentage of essence?
Like the chance you have to get an
Yeah.
essence drop from an enemy? I don't know, but I know it's insanely low.
I want to say, is it 1, but it's 2 if you're replacing one that you used with Dreamgate? I knew there was
right to me.
some kind of stipulation on like if you're replacing the one you've already used.
Oh, very nice movement.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was well done.
Yeah.
You got the full cycle. Yeah.
So that was I actually almost like I went into the room forgetting about it, and then once I was like a 1 second in, I was like, oh yeah, stop C dash. So I almost didn't even do it.
Even though those lasers can't hit you, the enemies themselves in that room don't actually have a hitbox, so you can dash underneath them, kind of, to skip waiting for the laser cycles.
Movement so smooth you could call it movement. We have our very own wonderful, beautiful, recently turned boomer. I'm sorry for the call out. Shuli Ika donates $15, donating in increments of 15 for the meme. All my wubbins.
Aw.
Yes.
Thanks,
she
Shuli.
makes me say this. That's her form. I mean, let me just shill a little bit on further incentives if I have a second right now.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Metal Gear Solid Save Merrill is already met. Someone put $5 to the $1. Someone really likes saving people there, I guess. We could potentially have a bonus run for Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. That would be in about 5 hours. 58 of $100 have already been put towards that. And in about 24, 23 hours and a bit, we have Wapo being run, and there's an incentive of $250 to win Fnac Ball. It's definitely worth it, I guess. I don't know, but I want to see it.
Fair.
I have the power. I shall compel people. The power of FC compels you. Yeah, as we're taking another one of those scenic super dashes.
Yeah.
It just looks wonderful. Back to you.
Thank you. This is actually my favorite area in the game aesthetically, and the music. Probably not the enemies. The enemies are kind of annoying in this area, but they're more annoying on current patch. So, yeah, I beat Crystal Guardian 1 and 2. Almost got through it without taking damage, but then a laser after the fight. Those two were kind of hard to avoid. Yeah. You see, I was like, I spawned like in between two of them. I was like, what do you want me to do?
There's nothing you could really do there.
All right, so we're gonna come up to Hollow Nest Crown. Oh, so the whole world is called Hollow Nest, and this is Hollow Nest Crown, the highest point on the map, I think.
I believe so.
And this is a pale ore. I think that's the first one.
No, I don't think we mentioned, but most people who pay attention to speedrunning in general know this, but the reason we play the game in Chinese, if you didn't mention, is because it makes text boxes scroll a ton faster.
Yeah.
I just realized, I'm like, I don't think we mentioned that yet.
Also, if you want to know the conversion to when it's faster to super dash versus dash, it is 4 dashes and they become even. So if you're going to be dashing more than 4 times, go ahead and C dash. Excuse me. All right. So now that is the first step of we got the first 3 flames and he upgraded Grimchild. And now we are going to save and quit out. Oh, we are going the wrong way. First off, we weren't supposed to save and quit out. Whoops. That's fine. It wasted like 2 seconds. I was wondering, I was like, why does the... well, all my split notes said was save and quit out. And I was like, what? All right. Oh, I was supposed to hit him twice. We're fine. Don't steal that. Thank you. Just RNG minute, yeah. Ooh, I love when he spawns there because that means I can hit the Geo Rock with fireballs and I can go grab
nice.
that. Yeah, that's always nice little optimization. That's the save and quit that my split notes were referring to. So, now we're gonna head back to the resting grounds. So this is something that this section of the run is a lot different on the new route that I haven't learned yet. I'm gonna learn soon. Because we're about to go do a little section called the Crypts, if I remember it, and they would have already done this. So it's a little bit different, but oh yeah, in case you're wondering, I use a controller called a Smashbox, made by the wonderful folks at Hitbox. Kind of gives me the best of both worlds as like a controller, buttons plus keyboard layout.
The buttons are pretty darn durable from what you told me.
Yeah, little Sanjo arcade buttons. Not sponsored, just like their product.
Yeah, for anybody curious, I would say even at the top level of Hollow Knight speedrunning, there's a fairly 50-50 split between people who play on keyboard or controller, so there's really no, I mean, I'm sure there are some minor advantages to either, but
Yeah.
there are tip-top runners that use both. Oh, missing the lever.
I probably could have double hit him, but I didn't want to shoot the fireball and miss, so.
Right.
Please sponsor me. Yo, talk to Cameron at Hitbox. Maybe you guys can work something out. Interesting. He didn't really cooperate, but that actually worked out pretty well.
Yeah, that did. Well done.
So that's what I was supposed to do to Gorb, where you hit him with the Dream Nail to start the essence gathering process, but then you start another Dream Nail at a specific spot, and it kind of animation cancels and lets you get out of that early. Otherwise, you're stuck standing there staring at him while you absorb. So you can kind of like get closer to like the exit of the room. You can't leave the room, otherwise you won't get the essence. You can leave at a specific spot if like it's like 1 second earlier.
I think you head up to the arena here now.
Yeah.
If I'm correct. Yeah, so my understanding is that all of the enemy spawns in this arena are pretty consistent, so with good practicing and rehearsal, you can essentially do the same thing in here every time.
That actually almost worked out even better, because I almost killed the guy on the ground with that fireball too, but whatever.
Right. Yeah.
99 in wood cutting. I haven't played RuneScape since I bought it agility and then got banned, and then I was like, well, why am I even playing? Alright, count it. No!
Well done. Saving yourself another $1.
Alright, so now for the worst room in the run. Whoops.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
if they didn't want agility to be botted, they wouldn't have made it so boring. Alright.
I don't remember if you were supposed to hit that bell or not.
Probably was. Actually, definitely was. If I didn't, then
Oops.
here we are again. All right. So we have to kill this Grim Child with Fluke, with Fluke on. That was really rude. All right. So we're gonna go fight one of the hardest bosses in the normal game. She's not that hard with Fluke, but she can just be really tricky. And we are overcharmed, which means that now that we've already taken one damage, now we can only take one more damage. And we're not benching because reasons. Oh, now I'm wondering if I'm gonna do the the Dashmaster Mantle Sword section overcharmed. I kind of want to.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that you know, hitting a staggered boss with Fluke Nest doesn't wake it up, but Grimchild has other plans for us sometimes.
Yeah.
We can actually wake the boss up when we don't want it to. So you might see some of that here. We have to be very conscious of that.
Like that.
Yep. Yeah, we would much prefer that Grimchild doesn't wake Hornet up so we can just unload all of our soul on her for boots. Like that. There you go.
So Grimchild can actually be MVP in that fight, or he can be ridiculously detrimental. Right there, he was a little mix of both.
He was a bench warmer, I'll say.
I actually have Sea Shanty 2 as my only RuneScape song on my stream playlist. All right. So now we have the King's Brand. The King's Brand is important, but also only important for one thing, and then it's completely useless. And that is opening this big door to allow us to get into the Abyss, which is an area that probably should have had more there, but they kind of ran out of time.
Yeah, I was gonna say my understanding was that they had a Kickstarter goal to heavily expand the Abyss, but they just didn't reach it.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. Team Cherry, if you're watching, I'll pour all the money into it to get the rest of the Abyss.
Also, it changes Imelicia's voice lines? That's news to me. I did not know that. Rhino, do you even know who Imelicia is? I just realized.
I do actually. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
I do.
Sorry, any percent, low percent runners. We'll make a lull.
I had to Google, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I know who that
Oh,
is.
yeah, I know. Of course, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that was their name, but...
Yeah, she's kind of rude. She's
Yeah,
like, oh, look at all those
very
dead
rude.
peasants outside.
Yeah, look at all...
Glad those aren't me.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Oh, she treats you like royalty. Oh.
I think there's also a voice line. If you try to give her the delicate flower, she declines it. It's like this disgusting artifact. Yeah.
That's funny. All right, so we can only, these guys do 2 damage normally, and I am overcharmed, which means they will do 4 damage, which means I can only get hit once. Okay, please do not die.
Oh, jeez.
I had to make it interesting.
Yeah, once you hit this lever and turn on the lighthouse, they all disappear, so we're safe. You would have to make a conscious effort to take damage for the rest of this segment here. Famous last words.
There's a Guaki strat? Of course there is. Why am I not surprised? All right, so this is the what's known as the Taiwanese quit out, because the discovery of this trick that saves 10 seconds of in-game time actually none of us knew about until a Taiwanese runner that none of us knew and wasn't in the Discord submitted a run that did it, and we were like, wait, what? And then we went and timed it. We're like, that is so much faster. What the? It was really funny.
I didn't actually know that history of it. That's interesting.
All right, we'll be a Chad.
You're gonna do the overcharm. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, so hitting that, but that didn't really lose you any time to not hit that bell.
Wait, I did hit it, right?
You hit it there, yeah.
Oh, on the way to Hornet, yeah.
On the way to Hornet, yeah.
It lost time because I had to wait before I went to the Abyss, but 3-4 seconds.
Oh, true.
CC never knew. That's a good point. There should be a video.
A video on what?
On just like the history of one of the categories that does that trick.
Oh yeah. There should be. I wonder if it exists.
I mean, if I was gonna see if it exists, I would go to youtube.com and type in Hollow Knight Speed Docs, and
That's a great place to go.
yeah, that would just be my first guess. I don't know if that exists.
Of course. Yeah.
I definitely didn't work on it with them and put out an amazing product, in my opinion.
Definitely not world record holder in the category it covers.
All right, so there's a lot of relics that we just had to sell to Lim. And now we're gonna head back to the Waterways for a second, because it's a little bit of a shortcut to get over to the fungal waste. That was a gold. That was an actual gold.
Nice.
By 0.01.
Marathon gold pog.
I turned off the sounds, which is like the first time I've ever remembered to do that. So no Sugoi. Oh, I didn't get the quick one. I just realized, so Overcharming here is really dangerous specifically for that reason right there. But I just realized I can always bench and or heal. So whatever. I probably will bench. probably the smart play. Hey, Grimchild, get him. Get him. Don't let him hit me. You are so rude.
The marathon heal. Love to see it.
I want more soul.
Nope. Okay, so we know where the invisible wall is for that enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so normally in this room, actually, you'd have to kill all these worms to open the gate up there, but with nail arts, we can just hit the lever through the gate and progress without worrying about any of that.
Grimchild just lagged my game by killing that enemy. That was really...
I saw that, yeah.
Oh my god, I can't get on the wall. Hello?
Oh, jeez.
There we go. You can barely clip that little bottom of that wall. All right. Can we not mess this up, please?
Yeah, that jump is a lot more precise than it looks. Very nice.
That was why I healed right there, because that can go so wrong. Maybe we won't bench now. Yeah, whatever. Risk it for the biscuit, you know?
Yeah, so we just saved Bretta, who I believe is necessary to fight Grey Prince out.
That's not why we save her for the mass shard. That's in her house. Yeah.
I think she is necessary to fight Grey Prince out, but
she
we
is,
don't
yeah.
need to in this category.
Yeah, because you can't get into her house, which is where he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually her dream. Well, it's her statue's dream, but it's basically her
it's
dream.
kind of weird.
Yeah, that enemy is like kind of in a haze, like a fugue state, and instead of walking around a grocery store naked, she just goes back to dirt mouth. That's a Breaking Bad reference for all of you, and and she's like, oh, some brave knight saved me. Was it you? And she's kind of like obsessed with you for I suck. Wait, what?
Please heal, please. Nope. Every time you do this at 1 HP, my heart stops.
That's really bad.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Wait, that's actually really, really bad. I've never died like that before.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I really hope he heals instead of trying to get the quick kill on the...
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Oh well, it happens.
That really has never. I've never died like. I mean, I've died to that fight, obviously, if you're playing risky. But I like just the way I died there was really weird. First off, the guy on the left like didn't die, but then he did, and then I dashed and I didn't see the shuriken. Oh well.
Life goes on.
There is no estimate. That's true. All right. Well. Now you guys can see what dying looks like. So your main soul meter is locked at 2/3. We have an extra soul one on the bottom left.
Yeah.
So Shave, I don't need words whenever I have an editor like you.
We get to see all this beautiful scenery a second time.
For those of you who don't know, I just put out a YouTube video the other day. That was the complete rivalry history of me and Scurry, one of my favorite people in the Hollow Knight community. And Shafe here is the one that edited it. Or edited the script, I mean. Yeah.
Taking the heals this time. You love to see it.
I should have benched, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, where's the fun in that?
Right? Yeah, Mantis Lords are definitely one of the harder bosses casually, just because dodging their attacks you need quite a bit of knowledge on what their attacks are, how you should respond to them, etc. Especially if you're not using spells to do more damage, that fight can just go on forever. But like all bosses in this game, Fluke's making pretty quick. And you see Viz's shade there that he just killed.
Oh wait. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Yeah, essentially what that does, when you die, your shade is left in the spot there, and you can go back and kill it, and then you get your full soul meter back. And also, some people may have noticed that you actually need to kill your shade to get your geo back too. So losing that would be pretty bad at this point in the round.
So to be fair, I died in the middle of my truaning run in GDQ. When no one talks about that, they talk about the Radiance fight where I didn't heal.
Right.
So now we just have to do something really cool and risky in this run.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it have gone that easy the first time? Whatever. All right. Well,
First try.
it was only 3 minutes. That was a really rough. I never thought about how bad that death is, but that death is really bad. That might be worse than, like, that might be the worst death. I really can't think of another one.
Right. And fun fact, actually, after killing the Mantis Lords there, all of the Mantises in this area actually won't attack you unless you attack them first.
Yeah. So they're a tribe based, like they're not infected. Okay, so I just realized I gotta go back. The whole world of Hollow Nest, except for very specific areas, are consumed by this infection, and this infection kind of makes you into like a little zombie. And makes your like brain all hazy, and like it's in the air underneath the ground where we are now. This tribe is actually unaffected by that. They're just kind of far from it, but they're like a big warrior tribe. But as soon as you beat the Mantis Lords, you don't kill them, obviously. That was rude. You don't kill them, so the rest of the Mantises are like, oh wow, look at this strong warrior. We'll bow to him now.
Yeah.
They have Anyo's mental.
I'm not looking at chat, so I don't know who said that, but I have some
Gwonky.
guesses.
Yeah.
I figured it was Gwonky.
That's so good.
That's right, yeah. They just know that they can keep improving and being better, you know?
Are you still counting hits, by the way?
Yeah, I'm still counting hits, don't worry.
What am I at? What am I looking at?
Let's see.
30? My guess is like 21 or something.
I have 34.
Oh my god! I'm so poor.
This is like, all right, guys, I'm gonna do 50 cents per hit.
Yeah, we're halfway through the run, man.
Yeah.
All right, so because we already took off the charm, or we still have the charms on, we can just bench there, grab the lantern. So now we have the lantern. I think I actually don't know if the lantern is a percentage, but I know that No Eyes is, and so yeah, I don't remember. No, I mean, well, I figured you guys would get it in low percentage if it was.
Yeah, we do get it in low percent. We do.
Oh wait, what? I thought you. No, you're right. You do. Okay, so yeah, then it must not be. Yeah, whatever. But we get it because we have to fight a boss called No Eyes, and you physically cannot start the fight against No Eyes without grabbing the lantern. So.
Yeah, and low percent it would either be that or dive, which we can't get dive. So.
All right, so I'm gonna focus here for a second because we're gonna try to get a thing called Balloon Skip, which saves a lot of time, but you have to do damage to this guy in a very specific way.
Yeah, so in between every damage phase here, you'll see Grim go into a big balloon just like this, and you can't damage him in this phase, so it's fairly annoying. But if you burst enough damage on him towards the end of the fight, you can actually kill him before he has a chance to go into his final balloon phase. So that's the balloon skip phase we're talking about here.
Got it.
Very well done.
So you have to do 3 flukes off the start, and then in the next phase you have to do you have to get like up to a certain amount of soul, and then so I think you need, that would be 9 hits total. Yeah, you need 9 nail hits and 7 fluke hits, and if you get like if you get all the flukes to land and you do 1 extra nail, then he'll go straight back into the balloon, so you like cannot mess it up. If you miss some flukes, then you have a little bit more wiggle room to like get extra nail hits, but you have to really pay attention to how much soul you have, because there's like spots where you can get like 2 hits instead of 1. There's spots where you could get like nail hits in between fluke shots during certain attacks, so you really gotta focus. I need
to be honest, I was taking a second to eat. You didn't get hit in that fight, right?
No.
All right.
and that music is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
That music's actually arguably, huh?
Both Grim fights have really great music. Yeah.
I totally agree. The only stipulation is that the first Grim fight, ironically, is actually better music-wise because the drums kick in during the balloon phase. So it's kind of like an ow. Get away from me. Didn't do that room correctly, but it's fine. Easy to take damage in this room. Thankfully, I didn't. So yeah, it's more of like an interactive music because it reacts to like what you're doing. The other one is just like it's just such a long like dance that it actually doesn't change the music based on what's happening in the fight, which is kind of a bummer, but otherwise it's an amazing song anyway. All right, here we go, baby. Hardest boss in the round.
Yeah, so normally you approach that boss and he jumps in from the background, then you have to fight him. But his hitbox is actually present before he spawns in, so we abuse that to kill him before he even gets a chance to attack us.
Yeah. You have to kind of do it in a specific way, because if you go too far to the right, then it like locks you in, and you can actually get kind of soft locked there if you do it wrong. But if you're not trying to like shave fractions of a second, you should be fine most of the time. That was rude as well.
So I think we go to fight Umu now, right?
After Elder Hu.
Yeah, oh, Elder Hu then, yes.
Well, Fragile Charms, then Elder Hu, then yeah, Umu. So that's the second or third time that you use like a slope to move yourself left and right while you're in the inventory. I'm not doing that. Like I can't move left and right in the inventory. It'll just select the left and right thing in the inventory. So you like open the inventory and you kind of hit like a slope and then you bounce off the mushrooms and it actually puts you like right at the exit of that room. I really like that inventory drop a lot. Oh god, yeah, then we have the scariest part of the run. I am not looking forward to Howling Wraiths and losing like $3.
I believe in you.
Thanks, man. We gotta start playing well so I don't go broke. Alright, so this is gonna be an intentional damage on Elder Hu. It actually
Good thing you said that because I didn't know.
Yeah, right there. This fight's actually super RNG and true ending, and it's really obnoxious, but luckily with flukes, you can do that every time and it works. Alright. So now we're off to Umu, and again, this is another instance where in every other category, this boss is ridiculously RNG. It still is in this category, but you do damage in cycles and or in like, you know, phases, and luckily doing enough damage to kill in one phase is ridiculously easy with Fluke Nest. In other categories, like you lose time on whether you get fast or slow attacks, and if you get extra attacks, and you lose time if you don't kill it in enough cycles. This one we're not really in danger of not killing it in one cycle, so the only time loss is if we get an extra attack or if we get more slow attacks than fast attacks.
Gotta be honest, I've never seen an extra attack in a 106 run.
I just got one yesterday.
Well, let's hope I didn't just Tom's curse yet.
So this is the fast attack. This is what we want to see twice. You can't get it all three if you only get 3 attacks. You can't get it all 3 attacks. You can only get 2 and 1 either way, or 3 and 1, or 2 and 2. All right, we got 2 fast attacks,
Yeah,
and we get an extra.
Good.
We did get an extra. I hate Rhino.
I hate myself.
Definitely Rhino's fault.
I don't actually know what you're supposed. Well, this is interesting for me. I've never seen an extra, so I don't really know what to do. Oh,
whoa!
This is very.
Oops. Oh, gave away $1.
I feel so bad.
No, it's fine. At least it happened here and not in a world record run like yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, so he just dies immediately. which is cool. In other categories, you have to be like really specific about like you gotta start your damage as soon as like the shell gets open. You gotta like really prioritize like where Umu is in the screen, because like you need Umu to like either not be knocked back or be knocked back at certain times. This category, you're just like, hey, let me just hit you with 3 flukes real quick, and this is over.
Yeah, especially I would say in like any percent, runners going from like mid tier trying to get to top tier, getting consistent 2 cycles on Umu is like one of the biggest pain points.
Yeah, you gotta like fireball, nail, fireball, nail, fireball, nail, fireball.
Yeah, look at
that sounds right.
You remember it.
Jeez, I barely remember that. So we're gonna dream gate out of here, which is another cool thing about this category, is that you can that's one of the coolest things about having about running my two favorite categories, 106 and Truaning, is the use of dream gate, so you can avoid otherwise tedious sections. All right, I would love to not get hit in this room, which is like a 50-50, you know? Nice. I'm definitely gonna get hit in Howling Wraiths, but what are you gonna do? That room is obnoxious.
I'll tell you this. I'll make a deal with you. How about this? If you get Flower Quest first try, I will cover half of the dollars you're donating for all your hits.
That's a good deal, and I've never been more motivated.
Okay. I'll do it.
So to give a little preview on what Flower Quest is. Flower Quest is a yeah, you're all witness. It's a thing where in order to get the last mask shard of the game, giving you your 9th mask, aka 9th point of health, you have to grab this flower from this NPC called Lemire, Grey Mourner, whatever, and you have to take it like across the whole world without using fast travels, and you can't get hit or else it breaks the flower and you have to like start over. And you like, it's one of the last like scary parts of this run. I mean, it's right before the Coliseum, which is like the most scary part, but
yeah, like if you're going for a top time, that just like instant run dead.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And it's one of those things where it's not necessarily that difficult, but you know, when nerves and pressure become a thing, it definitely turns it up a notch. Wise fight.
I thought that No Eyes wasn't in the platform enough so I could hit the bottom, but apparently not. That should only take 2 flukes, but unfortunately I had to shoot a 3rd. And take damage. We're going to use the 2nd Dream Nail to get us out of the animation so we can get closer to the edge of the room. This one you actually really can't get out of the room before that gives you the essence. Whee!
Alrighty.
Flower Quest is, I wouldn't say free because Gwanky is the most has the most misuse of the word free. It's consistent, but very hard, especially with nerves at the end of a 2-hour run.
Right. Yeah. I have seen world record pace runs of yours die in Flower Quest before, and it is I actually, this isn't a joke. When you got current 106 record, when you were in Flower Quest, I actually went and sat with my wife. I'm like, I'm so stressed right now. I just need to be around somebody. Like, and I'm like, I'm not even playing. I'm just watching.
It is absolutely, yeah. It's quote unquote free on bad pace. If you want to go slow, it's really not that hard if you know the correct strats and the correct like route. But otherwise, it's hard to consistently not mess up. All right, so now we're gonna go into one of the what am I doing? One of the worst arenas in the game. It's just really annoying, especially with Fluke. Like, some people don't hate it that much in like all skills because you have like E-Dark and Fireball. It's not as bad in all skills. I still don't like it, but with Fluke, it's hella annoying.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kill you.
The only saving grace of this arena is the enemy spawns are always the exact
Oh, goodness.
thing. So, I don't know what just hit you. Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Was the third guy I needed to kill. Yeah, you kind of get the flukes to bounce around in that room, and they can kind of kill stuff, but they're just still annoying. Also, it's deceptive if you're not playing, but if you're trying to do that room on like a fast pace, those platforms are the most inconveniently placed platforms, especially because the right wall isn't a real wall, it's a slope, so you can't actually jump off it. So like you'll like barely miss the sides of platforms. They're just really inconveniently placed, and they're really annoying. But that was relatively fun. I mean, I saved time versus my balanced PP, so. All right.
So here we are now in Queen's Gardens.
It is super laggy as well. Yeah, that's very true.
And we're gonna see another arena that in some categories can be very, very difficult, and this category is more or less pretty free.
Yep. Intentional damage.
Use the word free often.
Yeah.
That's intentional. Yeah, that's intentional damage that Viz just took. It lets us skip going through this entire room. If you take damage in the right spot in those thorns, it kind of just teleports you your respawn points to where we want to end up anyway.
You like how I missed both nail hits on that guy?
I know.
If this was the old route, I would have had to actually like get those hits, but yeah, it's the only thing that's hard in this category in that arena is just getting the flukes to go on the right trajectory, because they're kind of random. So sometimes they just go super high, sometimes they just go like completely straight, and it's just you gotta adjust. Hello, Grub. Bye, Grub.
I forget if saving grubs is actually a percent, like just the act of saving grubs.
No, it's just the Grubify Elegy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So later in this run, we'll see Viz go to the Grub Father after we've saved all of his children.
Who is not evil.
He's not evil. No, we can explain the lore of that while we're waiting 17 years for him to throw all of his geo. But yeah, we don't need the grubs. Like, they aren't a percent on their own, but the rewards that Grub Father gives us upon saving grubs are the percent that we need.
And those are all fake grubs, so don't worry, we didn't miss 3 for no reason. They are mimics.
Don't worry, Viz. I know you would have skipped the grubs if you could.
I absolutely would. No, I don't hate all of them. I just hate the specific one in Beastin.
You never saved the one in Crystal Peaks either.
Yeah, is more just because I know that's Deepness Grub friend. They're bonded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were actually born closest together. No, it's from frustration of losing runs to the Deep Nest grub, because there's like a glass torch next to it, so I'll be like in a rush and not really like not really paying attention because it's a pretty easy spot of the run, and I'll hit the glass and I'll think that it broke the jar, and then I'll leave, and then I'll lose the run because of it. Same thing happens on the one above the hive. Yep, that one's super annoying.
I've watched you do that before. It's absolutely heartbreaking. So here's another arena where, again, a lot of enemies, but all the spawns are consistent, so there's a very choreographed way of doing this. It looks to be going very smoothly for Viz right now. Ooh. And fun fact about those enemies, those little, I don't remember their names, enemies that shoot spikes at us. On this patch of the game, those spikes actually don't do damage to us.
Yeah, they have no hurt box.
Yeah, it's something with like their hurt box is on a different layer of the game on accident, so you can just stand there and they can't do anything to you.
If only they would take the hitbox out of the jellyfish in the back of the archives.
That's right.
All right, frogs, lose me some money.
Well. Yeah, this section is very disliked by people that run any category that goes through here, because the frogs jumping patterns are incredibly
Oh my god,
random.
What am I stuck on? Jesus, I've never dashed into a wall and then got another dash and still dashed into the wall. How does that even happen? That's actually a heal that I would probably do in a real run as well, because it just...
I was gonna say,
Down at 2 health is not good. I also had a lot of souls, so. All right, see if we can get the good Marmu ending. I hate Gwonky. I fully blame you for that. I locked my... And I'm locked out of Dream now. I hate this game.
Oh, jeez. I don't actually know what you do then.
You gotta get to a screen transition.
Oh, gosh. Stinks. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so I think now we're heading up to fight the Trader Lord, which is a difficult boss casually, but with speedrunner knowledge and Luke Nest, as always, it becomes fairly trivial of a fight.
It was also buffed in current patch.
That's true. It was buffed, so it does more. I think it does more damage, right? And has more health.
Yeah, it does double damage faster and has 1 more attack. Ooh,
Gotcha.
I did not like that.
Oh,
You know what? Oh, I've never had him be there. I mean, it's probably because I healed, but...
Yeah. And there's also a pretty consistent setup for a... One, you can start damaging the boss before it actually appears on screen, and 2, there's a pretty consistent screen skip you can get. And you can essentially kill this boss before it ever gets a chance to lay its claws on you. So here we are in the arena. And after you kill a couple of early enemies, you'll see the boss start spawning at the top of the screen. Yeah, and as soon as you see the debris falling down, yeah, exactly, and that's the whole fight.
Yee! I like how the black lines are still like pulsating throughout. Like, hey, he's still spawning. It's like, I think his corpse is on the ground.
Yeah, I think it's dead. And then we go here to pick up the first half of the King Soul charm from the White Lady, who's canonically your mother in this game, actually.
Fun fact, the like, if you go back and look at the Mantis Lords arena, there's 3 of them, but there's a 4th like chair that's broken. The Mantis, or the Trader Lord, is actually the 4th Mantis Lord, but is the only boy. The Mantis Lords are all girls.
I'll be honest, didn't know that.
Yeah, he's yeah, he left, and that's why he started like this whole trader clan. All right, so we're gonna take off Shaman Stone, which is like the only time we're gonna do that, other than the very end of the run where we put on all the blue mask charms, because we don't really need to kill any enemies in this section, and so ends up working out as far as like makes it easier to re-overcharm later, or like charm setup and overcharm. Is that the Trader Lord's son? That might be news to me. Am I too far left? Please say no. Oh, thank God. So if you put a Dream Gate too close to the edge of a platform, it'll make this distinct noise that's like, hey, no, you can't put that there. Or if you put it inside of like areas like this area coming up called Beastin, like when you put it inside of certain areas, it's the game's just like, nah, you can't put that there. Makes like a dung noise.
Yeah, so for anybody who forgot about Grimkin, we still haven't finished that whole saga with Grim.
Yeah,
even
so
though we did fight Grim.
After the 6th flame, so the first 2 sections, you fight Grim once, and then you get upgraded Grimchild, and you have to do 3 more flames. And technically, it puts 3 lanterns in the world. I don't remember which one we skipped, but it puts a 4th one at that guy Brum, because that guy Brum is like, hey, this is the only place I could go where Grim can't see me. I want to stop this whole cycle of the Grim Troupe, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really into it. So come meet me at the Nightmare Lantern if you want to, like, banish him. And so there's a different way of ending this quest, which is a lot more lame, because you get a charm that's not that great, and you get a and you don't get to fight one of the best fights in the game. But you can use that as a, he's like, oh, hey, just so Grim's not like suspicious of you coming over here, let me just give you a flame real quick. So he gives us a flame so we can skip one of the Grimkins.
Yeah, to be clear, fighting Nightmare King Grim, or the final Grim boss that we do here, it doesn't, you can actually get the percent needed to complete 106% either way, but as a community, we kind of just decided that it was really lame to not fight one of the best bosses in the game, so we made it mandatory that you have to fight and do that fight.
It's a much, like, because otherwise the end of the run will just be like grabbing Void Heart, which is like, you know, kind of cool. It's not that exciting, but it's cool. And then fighting Hollowness and Radiance with Flukeness, and you shred them both. So like, it's just way, it would be a really anticlimactic ending to the run if we didn't fight Nightmare King Grim. It's also like, I don't know how much faster it'd be. I know people say definitely, but like when you think about it, you gotta go all the way back over to Howling Cliffs, then you have to like go through the whole cutscene, and it would just be like really long to not, I mean, maybe you could avoid grabbing the other 2 lanterns, so it probably is faster, but I don't know if it'd be like 5 minutes faster.
Either way, it would be lame.
It would indeed. Alright, I would like to not take damage here.
I would also like to not take damage here.
Did not take damage here.
There you go.
White Palace, yeah, White Palace is super cool.
Yeah, White Palace is kind of the hype part of this.
Don't hit me. That was so mean. That's so ridiculously rare.
Oh man, I was hoping that it would hit you right after you picked up the
that would be cool.
The charm to get early control. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen that happen.
I think it's only happened to me once. I think I might do King's Mold skip just to show it off, even though it's slower in this category.
Is that just because we kill the King's Mold so much faster?
Yeah, we have D-Dark, so it's like stupid fast.
Gotcha.
All right, Galleon. Yeah, it's a really cool skip. I kind of want to show it off. And I've been practicing it a ton because of True Ending.
Yeah,
so,
in True Ending, it saves substantial time, is my understanding.
Yeah. I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds is my guess. Yeah. Versus an optimal King's Mold fight, which isn't always, like, it's not free. Not even free in Gwaki's definition of free.
He might have something to say about that.
Yeah.
Fun fact, actually, unrelated to 106, is low percent actually just started taking this route to Tram Pass instead of the old route, which you actually have to do that whole section in the dark, and the runner, who now has world record Constructive Cynicism, theorized that route and timed it to be quite a bit faster and found a consistent way to go through.
Oh, nice.
So props
also,
to him, yeah.
I'm in killing the King's Mold optimally in True Ending, because like you could just get a bad pattern of like dashbacks and stuff, so it's not even consistent. It's not free or consistent at all, which is why King's Mold skip is more consistent.
I am very glad that the enemy through the wall cooperated with you there for the dream now.
Yeah, the dashbacks are annoying. Dashbacks at any enemy, the Traitor Mantises and White Defender and the King's Molds are like the worst thing ever. Still don't know why we killed this guy. Oh, man. Well, I guess you get a chance of an essence.
There you go.
Yeah, we used to kill him because we needed soul right there, but now we have full soul, so there's not really any reason to other than whatever. Doesn't waste that much time. Alright, so this used to be a big run killer, or at least pace killer, boss in this category, until there was a reroute that gave us extra essence, and the reroute's mostly because of this boss. Now we can do 6 flukes total before the fight even starts, which means that we do have to wait for the scream, which is so long, but at least after the scream, we just nail fluke and Nos just dies immediately. So it takes all the RNG out of this boss, which is really cool.
This boss was super creepy in my casual playthrough, because like you're chasing yourself right now, and you don't realize, you know, I'm like, what is this? Like, why is there a copy of me?
If only Wing Nosk wasn't so lame, because it's like the coolest presentation of the opening.
Oh yeah.
But it's like the worst boss. I also think the music for that fight is super underrated, but don't get to hear much.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, it's one of my favorite boss fight themes, honestly.
So it's another pale ore. I never explained. So the pale ore are what you bring to the nailsmith to upgrade your nail. The first one is just 200 geo. The second one is a pale ore and 400 geo, if I remember right. And then it's 800 and then 2,000. Or no, 2,000 then 4,000, I think.
Yeah, so it's a big thing we spend a lot of our geo on. I can't remember where I mean, we have a couple of relics to sell still, and then we get a lot of geo in the Colosseums.
Yeah. Also, if you guys want to see something cool, I lost the cycle just so I could show that.
I didn't know those spikes don't have a hitbox.
Yeah.
You'd love to see it.
So, I like to compare this room to the frame rule system of Super Mario Bros. Because you can't go too fast, otherwise you're going to dash into the back of half of that guy. So even if you lose time in like the first half of the room, you still do it like, you can still get to the end just as fast. So you like have to slow down. Yeah. Which means you don't have to do like anything like optimally. Well, you have to do the end of it optimally, like I just didn't, but. We don't even need this soul anymore, but.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Mostly just use it for timing. What?
Oh.
Oh. I didn't know that one. All right, so.
Maybe I should just have chat open.
Probably. All right, so we have to make sure to cancel the C dash there so we can make the correct cycle here. Basically just trying to beat that one right there. Alright, don't have to change charms, we just have to bench. And we're gonna get our second to last Grim Flame, and then the last one will be in the Hive, aka the worst area in the game. Well, Soul Sanctum, Hive, they're about tied. Hive is more annoying solely because it's at the end of the run, whereas Soul Sanctum, at least you do both of them in the very beginning. That went really well. That went ridiculously well. That was the best I've ever gotten out of that room. Or the fastest I've ever gotten out of the room. Oh, that was not good. This could potentially end up being a gold. That went like as well as I could have hoped. I would love to, Guang. This is like the biggest area of like lost runs. Almost big B time. All right. So yeah, now we're gonna move the tram over to the right. Oh, this is the third fast travel thing I was talking about. We don't use it too much. I think this is actually the only time we use it. Yeah, this is the only time we use the tram. But you can't get to the Hive without it. Without glitches, I guess. I never count out whatever they can do.
Is that true? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's really no way to get there without tram pass, huh?
Gold? Gold. By a second, wow.
Jeez. Yeah, so the Hive is a pretty annoying.
I hate foreground objects.
Oh, gee.
That wasn't my fault.
Yeah, the hive's a pretty annoying place for runners. There's a lot of little bees floating around, as you can see here. Some that get covered by foreground objects, very annoyingly. And there's also going to be a large bee. I think the enemy's name is actually Big Bee, that we have to lure to help us get a mask shard here too. I don't know how you didn't get hit by that guy charging you, by the way.
Me either. Well, I don't have to sit on the bench because, like, I already like save and quit it to the bench. I would love to not get hit here so I don't have to be on 1 health. Yes, thank you so much. You don't have to bench after the... No. What? Oh my god. I hate Grimchild so much.
Oh.
I need these guys to move. Okay, there we go. Grimchild killing enemies lags your game a little bit, so if he does it during a double jump, it just like kind of ruins it for you.
Yeah, but it's a very annoying part of the game.
That was actually like the best I could have hoped for the backup, so we're fine.
Like, you'll probably mostly really only see like super top runners actually focus on this, but like when gathering soul, just moving about, you'll see a lot of runners intentionally try not to kill enemies, even if they hit them once or twice to gather soul, just because of that lag. What?
Yeah, I don't know. And then he came back somehow. I don't understand.
Yeah, so you need to lure be there to crack the hole in the wall, which my what was because the first one looked like it hit directly, like dead on, but
if I had $1 for every time that it's happened.
Gosh. I think I got all the hits in here. I hope I kept track.
It was 5.
Sure.
Okay.
I think I got them all. If not,
Yeah. Yeah, and there is no boss there, which is funny. That area it feels kind of empty without a boss, and even when the game came out, everyone was like, "Wait, did I just go through that whole area to like talk to an NPC and then get a charm, and that's it?" A charm that's not even that good outside of like the White Palace, and they were like, "Yeah, there was supposed to be a boss there, and then we never got around to making it." And then the patch after this one, literally the first one after this one, is called Lifeblood, and they added just 1%, which is that boss. But they also patched out a ton of speedrun tech, so.
Yeah, and fun fact, actually, that I didn't learn until after I'd already been speedrunning this game for a while, is that once you have Hive Blood, the bees in the hive won't attack you, similar to the mantises in Mantis Village.
Yeah, which is always really cool.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever are questioning how far you are in the hit counter, just round up. I just found out our donation. I just found out our donation tracker is doing that. It shows $180. But the truth is something else entirely. Something dark is happening in the background because Anonymous donated $1.50, and now we're at 179.50.
Oh.
I can let this stand. Either someone else makes this. I'm German. Things need to be proper. Someone else fix this, or I will see myself forced to take care of it. And I don't know if you all want this because this will mean weird incentives being met. I guess you'll want this.
Nice.
One quick shill. After Hollow Knight, we'll have House Test or How 5 Test with Metal Gear Solid. And after that, Mecharazium with Prince of Persia Warrior Within. Just for a little heads up.
Nice.
As you were, my wonderful champions of the Hollow Nest.
Thank you. Ooh, I hope I get the Walkling storage after this fight. It's really cool looking.
Yep, so here we fight Markov, and...
Whoops, that was rude.
Well, now this is getting out of hand. There you go.
Alright.
So again, charging a C-dash there because we can't, even though we can get early control, we still can't leave the room until the game has actually acknowledged that we've collected the essence. Let's see. Getting the Walklings, very nice. That saves a little bit of time.
Whoa. Please. I've never slipped through there. All right. So here's the last of the Nail Masters. This is the twin brother of the one that gave us Cyclone Slash. This is Oro. And he's the only one that charges money, which, I mean, some people think is greedy, but like, all right, look, if you're good at something, never do it for free, all right? Man's got to eat. But yeah, that's that ability is actually really big in stuff like all skills. We even get it in like Glass Soul. We used to get it in True Ending. Being able to like it has a really far range. It allows you to like use a nail art, like a charged nail, like as you dash to like. I mean, we're about to use it here in a second to break a grub jar. Whoop. That, which actually is a bigger deal than it looks like, because there's supposed to be more little hoppers that spawn right there, but if you dash slash, you do it from far enough to where they don't actually spawn, like, because they don't spawn until you get far enough to the right. All right, there's quick slash, one of every casual player's favorite charms.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if we didn't have Fluke Nest, that would be a massive damage dealer for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick slash with pure nail, really just
and fragile strength.
and strength. Yeah, those three charms together are probably the highest, one of the highest DPS builds you can do.
Yep. Plus fury.
Plus fury, yeah, if you're really brave.
All right, so now we got the collector, and the collector is really annoying casually. But we're gonna do a scream skip followed by a ton of damage with a certain damage rotation, and if I do get the scream skip, and it's gonna be an intentional damage here, and it doesn't make the boss like completely routine, but it gets rid of like 90% of it.
Right. And interesting to note too, you don't get soul from hitting this boss through now.
Nope. That was actually optimal. If I would have ignored that Aspid and got all the hits, I could have healed and then dream nailed the Aspid, but I didn't feel like dealing with that for right now. But yeah, also another thing to note, if you can only do those 6 flukes, because for some reason if you do a 7th fluke, it actually breaks the fight and you can't damage the boss anymore, and you have to like quit out and like go reset it, because the game is just like, whoa, that was way too much damage. You can't do that. And I assume it has something to do with like some kind of underflow or something. I don't know. I'm not a dirty hacker, man.
Yeah, and we see Viz getting the grub through the wall there. I think that's patched out now, but on this patch we can still use nail arts like dash slash and stuff.
Yep.
To hit levers and grubs jars, obviously, through walls. Saves us a little bit of time instead of going around.
And so also
Sentry's shield just doesn't care about flukes.
Nope. So we're gonna come up on the Watcher Knight and the last streamer of the run, and I just realized I don't have to call the elevator down because of that time I died. But this fight is a huge roadblock to casual players, a huge roadblock to 80% runners. Not so much all skills are true ending because you have like way better equipment, but low percent for sure.
Yeah.
And there's a
low percent.
There's a chandelier at the top of the room that you can break to get rid of one of the Watcher Knights, so you only have to fight 5 instead of 6. But in this category, we kill them so fast that breaking the chandelier is actually slower, which is still so crazy to me. That's like the only time I've ever gotten through that room without taking a hit. Jesus, yeah, that guy's always in the way.
Is that the case on current patch as well?
What?
That the chandelier is slower.
Well, you don't have flute or as strong a flute, so yeah.
That C dash was very unfortunate.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how fast they die.
Yeah, 2 flukes.
Whoops.
And with Dream Wielder, we get more than enough soul from each knight spawning in if Viz doesn't miss the Dream Hills.
Yeah. kind of had to take that.
I'll call that intentional. You planned to take it.
That was not the pattern that I was trying to do, but whatever. Missing that dream now was actually really, really bad. That was like the worst one I could have missed. Why didn't I see dash? The world may never know. I was thinking of trending for a second.
Oh, where you go up there?
Yeah.
Well,
So the world may know. Whoa. Did you see that? That was like no dip double jump.
Yeah. Look at that. Viz actually using a task. You hate to see it.
Too bad
Yeah, I don't actually
it put me
know
the wrong way, so.
I don't know the mechanics behind what actually causes the no dip jump.
Me either. Alright, last streamer time, which means the final boss arena is open, but we still have plenty to do. But we are gonna go get to see the Nailsmith. This is not the time to kill him yet.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
I do want to know though. Fun cannon. Fun cannon, busy. But we're gonna go get the first 3 nail upgrades, and then we'll come back later and we'll get the last one. So we're gonna dream gate out of here. And then we'll have White Defender, who can be a bit of a jerk. We'll see if we can show off Scream Skip.
Yeah, Scream Skip's a bit harder on White Defender because there's a bit of... You have to kind of, by experience and skill, just kind of predict when White Defender is going to scream so you can dash into his hitbox while he's screaming.
And sometimes he just decides to do his stupid little dash back, and it makes the Scream Skip impossible.
Yeah.
How many times have we come to limit this run? Like 6?
I was just gonna ask, like, I wonder
think-
if that's optimal.
I think it's 5. I think that was number 4. The one that I've always wondered if we could somehow remove it from the run is the one where we only sell one thing, and it's before Flute Alarm. We sell one Hollowness Seal, which there seems to be a way. There should have to be a way to get rid of that.
Right.
All right.
And we see the Nailsmith's hut for the first time.
Pam, we haven't decided yet. The
Go on
ultimate
killing or not?
No, well, the killing and how to kill. The ultimate like respect would be Great Slash. Then he really gets to feel the majesty of his nail. Alright, now we have nail 3. Now our nail does 17 damage instead of 5. With Strength and Fury. Alright, White Defender, let's do this.
I believe.
Oh, why did I save it? Oh, that's really bad. I save and quit, which meant I lost all my soul. I was supposed to stream it.
Oh no.
Whoops. We're gonna collect some soul in this room. Oh. Fun fact, this is where I lost my first Steel Soul run. Whatever. Yeah, I wanted a Dream Nail, but... God, they die so fast. This guy is one of the highest health pools in the game. Not including Godmaster. I don't know how much those enemies end up having. Especially on like Ascended and stuff. Oh, I faced the wrong way. Wrong way Dream Nail for the fans.
Yeah, so fun fact, I'm pretty sure you can actually keep, when White Defender is in that bouncing ball, I think you can actually keep him there for the entire fight. It's horrendously slow, so we don't even want to do it, but just as a fun thing.
Alright, should be Scream here. There we go.
Nice, well done.
Thank you. So that was one unintentional damage.
Yeah, that is massive time save, because if you don't get that Scream skip, he goes into an attack where he continually dives into the ground and comes back up. So we can't really even hit him that much, and it just catastrophic time loss if you're on the pace.
Yeah, that's the one thing like that everyone gets out of that enemy is that, I mean, he's an enemy, quote unquote, but everyone's like, I like that guy. Like an enemy, like a boss fight in a game that's actually pretty difficult and has a guy diving around in poop, you wouldn't think would be like a fan favorite, but he absolutely is. Everyone's like, I don't want to hurt this guy. He's nice. He just seems to be having a great time. Yeah, absolutely charisma 10.
I even think there's a voice line where you can go talk to him after the fight, and he's like, "Hey, that was a great battle. Like, thanks for that."
Oh, he loves it. Yeah.
That's that Onyo mentality.
All right, now we got this and this. This is the only time we come into this room. There's the map man. We've been to every area, so now he's sleeping at home. And here's Bretta's hut, where we're gonna get a mass shard. She is obsessed with the knight, as you can see a little plush right there. Because she knows that you saved her. If you end up saving a NPC named Zoe earlier in the run, then she'll like change to like being obsessed with Zoe instead of you. She was kind of in a fog. She didn't know who exactly saved her. That was... Oh, no, not... I'm so angry. Alright, you guys need a bathroom break? Now's the time.
I think I missed one hit you took there.
I took 2 in that room.
Oh, okay.
I down dashed.
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, this would be a good time to explain the Grubfather lore too, actually, while I go take a break.
Alright, go for it. So, basically, all these grubs are the ones we saved. We saved all of them. And if you get the last reward from the Grubfather, and then leave the room and go binge, and then come back, the next time you come in here, all these grubs will be gone. The Grubfather will be a giant blob circle sphere in the middle of the room, and you'll hear all the grubs inside of him. And everyone's gut reaction is like, oh my god, that's so horrific, he ate all of his kids. That is indeed not the case. Everyone thinks Grubfather is an evil man. He is not. He actually is the best dad ever, because he is using his body as a cocoon to hatch all of his grubs into grubber flies, and they get wings. So he's actually sacrificing himself to let his children evolve. So I don't want to see any Grubfather hate. Sponsored by Dependence. Yeah, the kid, they're all super happy to be inside of him. They're like, yay, we're gonna get to be grubber flies. We're gonna have wings. Team Cherry didn't do any favors by like the reveal was like super horrific at first until you realize. And there is the grubber flies LG, which means we didn't miss any grubs. Luckily, I already know I didn't because I have a split for the final grub, and if I missed any, it wouldn't split. All right, so the 3 nail masters that we met, Oroshio Mato, their master is actually this shopkeeper named Sly, and he's a secret nail master, or nail sage, I think actually is his name. And he gives you a charm called Nail Master's Glory, which allows you to charge your nail arts faster, which becomes super useful in the Colosseums in this category. Like I have done the Colosseums in 112% where you don't use that charm, and it's I can't stand it. It's actually so essential for me. But in the newest DLC for this game, called Godmaster, if you don't count Voidheart, you actually get to fight all 3 Nail Masters and Sly. Sly is actually, he's like a little Yoda kind of like flips and like jumps around the arena. So you want to buy that last vessel fragment last. It's what we call shoptimization. That doesn't really matter. Don't want down too many, but we're going to buy that anyway. And then we'll buy the vessel fragment. Because it kind of closes the menu for us. Apparently it's faster. Doesn't feel faster, but whatever.
All right, I am back.
Welcome back. Coming up on Flower Quest.
When will Nailsmith happen?
Here in about 5 or 6 minutes of in-game time, like a little under 10 minutes.
All right, because currently it's looking like the Nailsmith will have to perish. $25 towards kill and 23.50 towards saving. That's where the 1.50 went to.
Oh no.
So it's not too pricey to still snipe that. Let me know when this should be closed.
All right. I'll do it just to do it a little early. I'll do it when I stag to King Station. I'll cut it off. So this is the number one thing people forget to do in this category is you have to talk to Seer again after ascending or awakening your dream nail, because that is a %. It's the easiest way to accidentally get 105%.
And I'm still holding good on my word here that a hitless first flower quest. I will split half on the donations.
Gotcha. Yeah, so this is that thing we were talking about where you have to go through this whole, basically the whole world hitless. And we're gonna try to do that.
I just realized that room where you get Soul Eater is shaped like the shaman's head.
Yeah.
I never noticed that before.
I should have dashed. Oh well. Alright.
So this is the Grey Mourner who gives us the delicate flower that we are now in charge of running across the whole map back to I think it's like the Trader Lord's child, right?
That's what somebody in chat said.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, I don't know where I heard that, but I know that was also my belief.
Oh. So yeah, all the way over in the left side in Queen's Garden. Please be to the right. Nope. Alright. Oh, thank God. When he's there, that's the worst place for him to be.
Yeah. It's a very tight window to squeeze in there.
Oh, it's his daughter? Oh. Apparently it's his daughter.
Gotcha. Nice.
I always mess up that jump. So we're going to come back to Salubra, and we're going to miss out on, I think, 2 of her charm notches. But we're going to buy everything else. Charm notches are not a %, charms are, so we have to make sure to buy her out of all of these charms. And like I said, we're going to miss the charm notch, which is not a big deal. But we're going to get one of them. And I have enough.
I didn't actually know charm notches weren't a % until I did low %. And there's an optional charm notch, the Shroomel Ogres, but you can pick that one up if you want because it's not a %.
Oh, nice.
If you're at low health or something, you want it. Nope.
Just being careful.
I was really... Oh man, you're making me nervous here. Yeah, like Viz said, there are very consistent movements through here, but consistent does not always mean easy. Yeah, and we just so happen to collect a few collectibles along the way here because they happen to be on the path.
Yep.
Which makes Flower Quest all the more difficult even to go through those sections, forcing us to be hitless. One strategy I've seen casual players do for this actually is they will go through the entire path without the flower and just kill all the enemies, then come back and get the flower and do it.
That's definitely the safe strat.
Right. I always feel like we should get that grub there, but I'm always like, oh yeah, we go get the grub, right? Yeah. Yes, now we'll be making our way into Queen's Gardens. Almost there.
Yeah.
Getting hit here would be absolutely catastrophic for this. No pressure.
Thanks, man.
And
whoops.
And that's pretty much it.
All right.
Well done. All right, I have to split half of your hit donations with you.
What are we at?
Oh boy, let me count. I have 55.
Okay.
God, that's a lot of hits.
Yeah. All right, Coliseum time, baby. Time to add 10 of them.
Yeah, so the Colosseums are, for anybody who knows this game, know that the Colosseums are fairly difficult, long arenas that you have to fight through. And when we're going for top times, we usually do them overcharmed, so we can have our best loadout, which does in fact mean double damage. But when we're going for speed, it's all about the frames. So we'll see Viz equip his charms here, make his way on over horribly. And yeah, the one saving grace of the Colosseums is that, like most arenas in this game, all enemy spawns are completely consistent. So you can have you can plan ahead and choreograph really good strategies for dealing with them in a fast, efficient way.
And the combination of having Soul Eater plus Spell Twister means that I know it's not a 1-to-1, but it's almost a one nail hit equals being able to cast one spell. Because I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, it's I know it's 24. No, sorry. Yeah, it's 24 soul to cast a spell with Spell Twister. Yeah, and then I think you get 21 if I remember right, with each hit from Soul Eater, because it's a 4-notch charm.
Yeah, which is super nice.
Alrighty.
And I don't believe we use flukes.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, there aren't really any difficult bosses that we need to fight in the Colosseums.
This is where we're gonna see the most usage of the nail arts, because I have Nail Master's Glory, so fast charging.
Yeah, does it make them do more damage too? I forget.
I don't think so, but if I'm wrong, I would not be surprised.
Yeah. I know it makes them charge substantially faster though. I would argue that either Dream Wielder or Nail Master's Glory are probably the best one-notch charms you can use in the game, even casually. Yeah, I think
I would put I put Grub Song up there with him.
Oh, good call. Grub Song's good. Yeah, so you'll see Viz has a very planned, set way of moving through these rooms and fighting these enemies. The only real tricky thing can be if you mess up like an early kill and things get off script, it can get hectic. But the enemies spawn. The next wave of enemies won't spawn until you completely take care of the current wave, so it's pretty easy to reset as you get off script. Oh jeez.
Saved.
Outplayed. Yeah, a lot of nail arts can kill, especially the primal aspids, which are the bane of most players' existence.
Yeah.
One great slash takes care of them pretty handily. Yeah, so Kalo 1 is pretty, I mean, as the first of the Colosseums, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Wouldn't expect to see any issues here. And the final boss of this Colosseum is an old friend of ours, who some people will definitely remember.
2 of our friends.
Oh, that's true.
Oh wait, not Zote, right?
I was talking about Zote, yeah.
Oh no, we don't see him.
Oh, true. We don't want to. That's right.
Yeah.
We
didn't see him.
No, that's true. You're right. Gotta be honest. I've never played a category or casual playthrough where I didn't save Zote and such, so I've never done this Colosseum without him at the end.
Nice. All right. Well, that was a hit technically, but I was planning on taking it if Grub's mother came toward me. Oh well.
We'll count that as intentional.
Yeah. Oh wait, intentional? I was counting it as unintentional.
Oh, okay. No, well, we'll mark it. Yeah, and you can see all the Colosseums here give us one collectible reward, in this case a Charm Notch, and a whole bunch of Geo, which is super nice.
Coliseum 3 only does the Geo.
Yeah, right. Colosseum 3, I think you just need for the percent.
Yeah. There's also the reason why we don't have the best nail we could possibly have here is because you get the last thing you need for a nail, the pale ore, from this Coliseum 2. And it would just be way too long to go all the way back and like buy it in between Coliseum 2 and 3, so
it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah. We don't really need the pure nail anyway.
Right.
Missed that hit. Oh, also taking damage in Coliseum 1 is fine because the Charm Notch at the end heals you anyway. But taking damage in Coliseum 2 means I'm going to have to heal up before 3. And there are spots where I can heal, but they're few and far between.
Right. Yeah, there's even some spots you guys will see coming up. I don't know if in Colo 2, but definitely Colo 3, where there's literally no floor to stand on, so you couldn't heal them if you wanted to.
I missed the...
I know, I was going to say, you missed
I'm sad.
Cool little wall.
If you guys are wondering, like, hey, I try to D-Dark enemies and then I get hit before I can do a second one, it's because they nerfed the iframes on D-Dark. So you can't, like in this patch, if you had Infinite Soul, you could just D-Dark forever and you would never be able to be hit because your iframes last to the next one. Whereas on current patch, they made it to where, like, you still get iframes, you just can't chain them together like you can now.
I always like that the enemy's corpse rolls across the ground back there.
Yeah.
The ball comes in.
Ooh, caught the top of him. Alright.
Yeah, going pretty smooth so far. Nothing to really go into.
I want the soul. You dead? Nope.
Yep, and now we'll get the boss of this Colosseum, which are the Globbles. Once you kill the first one, as you see, the second one becomes enraged, starts moving faster, attacking faster.
One hit.
There's a hit.
Take that.
can heal up pretty nicely there. But yeah, there's the first 2 Colosseums. Now the 3rd Colosseum is exponentially longer and more difficult than the first 2.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion, it is.
Honestly, the little the blobbles at the end of 2 are surprisingly annoying. Like I get hit to their little diagonal attack like really often, and then that sets up a blobbles to like be able to kill me. But nothing tops the frogs.
Oh yeah, no. When I did the blobbles radiant, that was really annoying.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that fight is obnoxious.
That's awful.
All right. Whoops. I meant to dash. I don't know why I didn't.
I fear for how much money we're gonna owe after this policy. So on top of having a good planning strategy for how to move throughout these Colosseums, what attacks to use, soul management in general is very important. You know, if you're going into a phase where you know you need to shoot 2 fireballs, say, but you decide to heal instead, that becomes a concern too. So there's a lot of things probably going on in Viz's mind here as he goes through this Colosseum.
Nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, these frogs really suck. I'm so happy those 2 frogs didn't hit. The one saving grace about this Colosseum, though, is it's not constant, non-stop action. There are little moments like right here where you can kind of sit, take a breather, heal. On this patch, this Goem's hitbox doesn't hit you from that platform, so you can get some dream nails on it.
Nope, I heard that.
Nice.
Take that.
Very nice fight here. Pretty soon here, you're going to see one of the sections I mentioned earlier where the ground kind of just disappears out from under us and we couldn't land and heal if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Not quite right this moment, but coming up.
Luckily, you get this moment where you can actually get like 2 extra like bulbs of soul and like heal twice. So. All right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as you can see, the entire floor is spikes right now, so it's honestly a really cool fight. Even like from a casual playthrough, it's really interesting to have to manage your wall jumps while actually trying to get attacks in and dodging. But as most things, nail arts and spells help us make very quick work. Here's the part of the Colosseum most runners just can't stand, because these frogs are incredibly RNG. They can just come at you from off screen where you can't really see them. I have watched them defeat many a talented runner before. But Viz getting through undamaged, you love to see it. Very nice. You ever hit one of those things up in the air
Yes.
and forget about it? And it comes back down?
Only once, and then I realized that they come back down.
Yeah, and this is the final boss of the Coliseum, which, again, with D-Dark and all the iframes it gives us, not too difficult of a boss. And that's
All
it,
right.
though. That's all 3 Coliseums.
Did I get hit twice in both? Or twice, like once in each? Or twice in that one,
I don't know if
maybe?
you got hit in this last Coliseum.
I did. I got hit in the floor of this section once. I got hit 2 frogs early. I think I took 2 or 3 damage. I don't remember. All right, it's time. Are we killing the Nailsmith?
Yeah.
That was the cutoff.
These are indeed of the crowdsourced opinion. Let's make it quick. The Nailsmith has to perish. The final count is 25 votes to end his life by his own creation or otherwise, and only 23.5 votes to save the Nailsmith.
You guys could have done it.
Mm-hmm. It's not on you. It's on chance conscience.
That's right.
I'll be a nice murderer. And we'll give him a taste of Great Slash.
There you go.
That way he gets to at least experience his nail at the full force.
What he asked for.
Yeah.
I know this is really silly, but I often wonder, like, what was the process like of the nail masters teaching us nail arts? Like, hey, for this Great Slash thing, just like swing your nail really hard.
Yeah.
like what was that process like?
You just want to do it like that, like real fast.
Yeah,
like
just real hard and fast. That's it. Yeah.
You know that dash while you're dashing, just like that.
Especially Cyclone Slash, like, oh, okay. You know, just get dizzy.
Yeah, yeah. You ever had an office chair? Do that.
Yeah, do that while holding your nail out.
You know what? Yeah, Great Slash is where he should be with Shio, which means that's even more appropriate. We'll give him the Great Slash. Sorry, bud. All right.
Did you know if you go into the what's it called, the junk pit later?
Yeah. You see his body floating?
You see his body floating in the water. I only learned that like a month ago.
All right. So
this game's so dark.
This this section is a big platforming section with 2 enemies, but you can kill the enemy super fast. And in this category, you're supposed to. You're going to see me fight the first one right here, but you're supposed to fight the second one as well because we can kill him so fast. Whereas in True Ending, you have to do this section 2, but you have a lot less damage, so you can't just do that. So you do a skip called the King's Mold skip, and I'm going to show it off here just to be cool. When it's actually slower, if you can D-Dark him. So mute the couch. Save. Oh, I had it. Whoops. There we go. All right.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, so in this game...
Saved.
Nice. Well done. Yeah, so in this game, there isn't actually like a real, I don't know, an asset for the clouds to have a hitbox or anything, because the game wants you to not be able to go that far out, so you just take damage and respawn. So they actually just have spikes behind those clouds, which allows us to pogo them and skip a pretty big fight like that. Well, a big fight in some categories.
Yeah. This category is fast.
We're just showing some swag.
Yeah. All right, baby. Let's show off the skills that have got me where I am today.
Paid the bills?
Skills that pay the bills. Unfortunately, they're costing me bills today. But we're saving the kids.
That's right. Oh Oh my Jesus.
I kissed it.
Yeah, and honestly, for anybody, like, if this were like a world record pace run, White Palace is, at least in my opinion, is kind of like the last hype section of the run. Like, if somebody is coming out of White Palace on world record pace, or on PV pace, it's pretty guaranteed they're going to carry that through, barring like a catastrophic Nightmare King Grim fight or something.
Yeah. Hey, I chained that.
Nice.
Nisei. All right.
Yeah, there's a pretty cool skip coming up here too. I believe it's this room. No, not quite this room, but coming up there's a skip where there's essentially a very long. Yeah, there's a really long room we need to go through, but we can kind of just skip over the top of it with a very precise pogo dash over one of these circle saws. Yeah, I'm gonna see it right here. All done.
Also, a skip if anybody wanted to avoid this room. Free skip there.
Yeah, honestly, I just like loaded up a casual playthrough one time and tried that. That skip is harder than it looks.
Oh, the one where you go over the salt. Yeah.
That is more precise than it looks.
There's also a huge skip that skips the most annoying part of the entire White Palace, casually and speedrunning. And you'll see it. All you have to do is break a wall and you go underneath like a really obnoxious section.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do it in your casual playthrough. I kind of slowed down at the beginning of that room intentionally because like I needed to set up that saw to be out of my way whenever I needed to jump.
Yeah, all of these rooms are on a global cycle. So if your movement is consistent, you can do the rooms the exact same every single time, which is very nice and not true of every room in this game. So it's nice to have that. There's the skip Viz was talking about, by the way. You just break that wall open and there you go. Oof. Good save. Good backup.
Thank you.
I cannot stress enough how quick of reaction time that took to acknowledge what happened, realize there was a saw there, then position yourself to pogo with the refresh movement. That was incredibly impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it for White Palace here.
Yee.
You just ride this elevator up, murder the Pale King's corpse that's already dead, and then you can actually sit on his chair too, and it'll play interesting music. But we're here.
Fun fact, that was even with the having to kill the nailsmith and then doing King's Mold skip and missing that thing at the end, that was still sub 5. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I forgot this is a route change. Even my split note says in all caps, go left!
Yeah, a sub 5 White Palace is impressive enough on its own, but all things considered even, that's incredible. Good job.
Throw all of your geo into the fountain? You first.
I've watched a lot of people play through this game like casually or first playthrough. I'm like, I'm not giving this thing my geo. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
you want to do it. It's a thing.
Especially whenever they have like 1,500 to 2,500 and they're like, it just took all my geo, I got nothing from it. It's like, I mean, you went toward 3,000, so I mean,
yeah,
wasn't a total loss. All right, so we're gonna take all of our charms off here, and we're gonna give us 3 charms that give us a bunch of blue hearts, because there's a door that only opens if you have 15 blue hearts.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do a thing. Yeah. Well, you have 17 right now, so you can get hit once.
Oh, okay, fair. I'm assuming we're gonna see you do swag door.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there's a timing that Viz is gonna do here that essentially makes it so that you get through this door the absolute moment it opens. And I'll let him count here.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Boop. That was really close.
I know, that's why it's called Swag Door.
I have never done this room that fast, on pace, in my life.
My God.
I'm so angry. Why have I never been able to do that? That would have been a gold had I not accidentally went the wrong way when I left White Palace.
Oh my gosh. That's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. You like cannot be anywhere like to the left or right of that line on the ceiling.
Yeah, so we'll be getting our last spell here, Abyss Shriek, which does a ton of damage that we unfortunately won't even need in this category.
Yeah, it actually does more than Fluke, but the difference is Fluke is a really quick just boom and you're done. Shriek, you have to get all 4 hits of it to hit to do 8 more damage. It's 112 versus 120. And also it like has a lot more landing lag or like ending lag, so like you can do like 3 Flukes by the time you would finish one Abyss Shriek.
Yeah, and you can nail cancel Flukes too.
Yeah.
For those who don't, nail canceling is if you swing your nail, then cast a spell, usually done with Fireball or Vengeful Spirit. It sort of cancels your nail animation and lets you do a lot of damage really quick.
Oh, one cool little like, I don't know why this is a thing, but it's a thing. After you dream nail this this egg, you can actually still move around even though the knight seems to follow the floor. See? I don't know why you're still able to move around. I guess they expected players to like dream nail and then just sit there and watch and not press any buttons. Well, why would I do that? Why press buttons, or why not press buttons when you can press buttons? All right, so you may think that there's like a lot of challenges in this game, looks kind of hard, but the biggest challenge for me personally is full jumps. I don't know why. I suck at them, and so doing this room with a bunch of full jumps is just my arch nemesis.
Very clean climb so far. Fun fact: you actually cannot die in this climb, in this like cutscene-esque climb. Even if you hit spikes repeatedly, you still won't die.
I really just golded.
Wow.
Is that
like your second real gold?
Third, I think.
Third. I know you had one fake gold because you got the bench and Dirtmouth, but
Yep.
Cool.
Cyclone Slash was fake. That one I golded by 1.4.
Wow.
I've never had a clean climb, yeah. God, imagine we get balloon skip.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wait. Whew. I almost quit out, which would have been really, really stupid.
Yeah, no, you gotta dream. You gotta dream.
Truaning has ruined me, man. I want the 104. If I would have quit out right there, I would have lost all of my soul, which I have full soul, 199. So that would have been hella bad. No,
this is
man,
record pace, right?
You just said, wait, are you saying make up for it as far as timing? Because not even close. I am 7 minutes behind.
Yeah.
And that lost 4, I think. And this would save like 10.
Yeah, so Nightmare King Grim, regarded by a lot of casual players as one of the hardest bosses in the game, if not the hardest boss, but...
Oh, forget about it? Yeah, I feel that.
We're pretty experienced here, and I'm expecting a nice fast fight out of his.
Okay, hold on. I need a ruling. Sometimes the game lags off the start of the fight, and in order to get the flukes, I need him to he just teleports across the arena and hits me. Does that count? I have to take it to the face. Like, I can't do anything about it. Okay.
It's a planned hit. If it's a planned hit, then I'm gonna say no.
If he teleports, I'm just, yep, right there. I can't do anything about it. It's so garbage. I can't stand that hit. It's so annoying.
Yeah, and just like with Grim, we can't damage him in the balloon phase, unfortunately. On newer patches you can, which is why you might see other runners just stand underneath and spam a loop up into Grim, but on this patch he doesn't take any damage.
I wouldn't be surprised if Great Slash kills right here.
Wow.
Nope.
Well done.
Oh, love to see it.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good fight.
Friendship Cannon said Rhino became awfully lenient in his hit rollings after he had to pay half.
No, I was saying that even before, though. Like, if it's a hit that you plan to take, that you know is gonna happen,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna count that.
I've never had that. So right there when you do that little dream nail into C dash, so that you can skip like having to lay on the floor. Oh, we are absolutely showing this off. Hold on.
Oh, we're doing helicopter night.
Yeah.
Let's go. I just noticed that you didn't have a UI there. Is it because of some early control after Grim?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was that dream nail into C dash.
Oh, gotcha.
Beyblade,
Yeah.
let it rip. But yeah, so there's actually a glitch that you can do on accident right there that really sucks, where you get that dream nail to get early control, but for some reason the screen stays black. So you kind of have to guess where the well is, because you can like still move around and like everything, you just can't see what you're doing. It's really obnoxious. Hollow Blade.
Right. So this is the Hollow Knight, which is the final boss in a lot of categories, but not in this category, because we have to do the quote-unquote true ending. I say quote because that term is not endorsed by Team Cherries.
It is not canon.
It is not seen as any form of true ending.
To be fair, I wanted to change the name to Dream No More %, but nobody was on board with that.
Is it possible to accidentally kill Hollow Knight too quickly and not get to
No, you'll just skip the self stab,
gotcha.
which is the fastest way to do it. My gold does it. I don't know how to replicate it. It's really hard.
Yeah, so after Hollow Knight here, in most categories, you would just finish that fight and end it and absorb the infection yourself. But we go into the Radiance's dream world here.
This is the source of the infection of the world. So yeah, the bad ending has you taking the Hollow Knight's place as the new vessel to contain the infection. The true ending, quote unquote true ending, is you going to defeat the source of the infection so that the world like returns to normal.
Yeah.
And she just gets shredded by Fluke.
Yeah. As I know I've said it many times, but the ending of this category with Fluke Nest is a cutscene, essentially. The bosses are so good. And again, this goes back to why we think it's good to fight Nightmare King Grim, because otherwise it would just be incredibly anticlimactic to have a 2.5 hour run of the entire game's collectibles end this way. Yeah, and that's it. Fight's done. Now we just have to climb up here.
Wait, are we at 68?
We are at how many hits?
No,
we're at 60, 61.
Okay. I was going to make it 69.
And there we go. And I think time is when the screen goes fully black.
Yeah. Whew.
I don't remember what you wanted to show off if you had time, but
Wait, what?
I think you had a few things you wanted to show off. I think if you had time after the run, I can't remember what they were though.
Well, we didn't save the Nailsmith, so we can't go see him with Shio, but could potentially go see Grubfather, but I'm pretty sure I'm
That's
overestimating.
time.
Yeah, time. Sorry. I was waiting for the actual in-game timer to stop.
Yeah.
That was a 2:32:30.
GG's. I think that's pretty darn good for a marathon.
Yeah, I'll take that. Whew. Well, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for watching, for donating. Now me and Rhino have to pay. I'll pay 31. You can pay 30.
Okay. Or we both pay 30, 50.
Hey, if you want, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Please,
I'm eight.
no more odd numbers. No, just
Yeah. Oh,
do your way. Big GGs for that. And go ahead. You have 8 to 10 minutes. I don't need to shill all that much.
Okay.
You're doing a wonderful job. So
Thank you.
whatever you have, whatever you want to show us.
Let's we could potentially go do oh, sorry for red screen here. I had to close the game.
Pain.
I could do a Path of Pain. That is a possibility. That's more important than Grubfather, huh? I'm not very good at it, but I can do it in under
this
8 minutes.
This is your marathon run.
Unless they want to get ahead in the schedule. Do you guys want to see a like a 4 or 5 minute Path of Pain? I have to make up for my GDQ run where that Path of Pain was atrocious. All right, let's do it. I am not practicing this at all, but it should be fine. Show us your pain. 257.17. Nice.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, the Path of Pain is a hidden area within White Palace in this game that you can only play through once before it gets closed off, but
now it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's true. It doesn't anymore, but yeah, it's an incredibly movement intensive, difficult section, and you for having the bravery, the skill, the technique, and the courage to go all the way through it without dying, you get nothing other than bragging rights.
You get a 5-second cutscene, baby.
Yeah, that's it. The first time I did this casually, it took me like 2 hours. I mean, now we can all do it in like 5 minutes, if that. Like, but yeah. All right. Yeah, I was so pissed. I'm like, all that for nothing. Like,
I didn't know how long that was going to be gone. Ah, Sag.
Oh. I forget what world record is now for Path of Pain. There is a speedrun category for Path of Pain for people who are interested.
I almost hit that.
All right, through the first section, first checkpoints. Oh man, actually the first time I finished Path of Pain, I got killed by the King's Molds. Oh, I was so upset.
Oh, jeez. The camera didn't scroll. I was like, what's happening?
Just like White Palace, all the rooms in this section are in fact on a global cycle.
Oh wait, I went to time it with the double jump, then I was like, wait, I need the double jump. Oh my goodness, I am terrible. There we go. We're not healing.
We're not healing?
If I remember right, it's whenever this one goes away, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend I know all the speed strats, but yeah, I usually wait like a second until it goes away. Then.
Yeah, I don't know strats for this at all, but oh, I missed it.
Yeah,
Ooh, ow.
People that like competitively speedrun Path of Pain, there's some insane cycles they hit in some of these rooms that are just unreal. Little skip here. You're normally supposed to go around to the left there, but you know.
Ah, of course.
Oh, jeez.
Whoa. I didn't grab the wall. Thought I did. Man, I haven't done this in months.
The platform that you stand on there, a lot of people don't know that you can go through the wall to the right and there's a Soul Tyrant.
Yeah. Why? I'm so sad. I'm sure Path of Pain runners are yelling at their screen right now if they were to see this.
In shambles.
That was really stupid, but whatever. Jesus. That's not that hard, Brian.
I believe in you.
Isn't there a C-dash here or something? There is.
Yeah, off the top wall.
Oh. Okay. I thought they were gonna be...
I always had to stay somewhat practice on Path of Pain because I had a channel point redemption at one point for ending stream with Path of Pain. I'm like, if somebody redeems that, I don't want to have to sit there for like 20 minutes going through it.
Ooh. You're really... Oh, I don't have enough soul.
Oh, jeez. I thought you were going to hit back into the spikes. Jesus. Oh my god, it gave me a heart attack. Yeah, so for those who don't know, if you die to those King's Molds there, you just have to do the whole thing over again.
Yeah.
There is no checkpointing, there's no save state. And for all that, you get to see this 5-second cutscene.
And a journal entry if you have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even close. Alright, that was that was just as embarrassing as the first one. But thank you guys. That was a super fun run. Make sure to check out the rest of the weekend and weekend 2. There's a bunch of really cool runs that I'm definitely going to be watching. But yeah, thank you guys. I guess you can join my Discord if you just do !Discord in my stream. Follow the stream, follow Twitter, all the usual stuff. Woo! Oh, check out the Hollow Knight SpeedDocs video because it is criminally underrated. Not just because I made it. Or helped
That's
make
the
it.
shilling we love to see. Thank you for opening up. Thank you
Of course.
for this wonderful run and the extras. And yeah, with that, we're off to intermission and hope everyone else will enjoy what's to come.
Thanks for having me.